Yeah, yeah, yeah. So many lies that you hear from the net, they don't get her respect. She reporting the truth, not a check. You want an unbiased opinion straight from the chest, not a bit of accomplice or someone here for a check. Tune in, these are thoughts from a lawyer on a mission who goes so hard it's like she works on commission. Trolls in the comments might say she tripping cause they lack the knowledge. They don't know they missing. Got a couple current events that you like. Wanna know about law from the eyes. Tired of all these blogs running lies because they agendas are disguised. Tune in to the intellect, cause I'm sure y'all missing all the facts of the case that she steady is gifting. Someone here for the people, man, it's so uplifting. If you ain't subscribed yet, then you just omitting facts.
Hello, everyone. It is Pam Esquire, also known as your law intellect. We are here to watch the Cardi B trial. I am sorry that I'm late, but I was on my hearings a little bit longer than anticipated. But I am here now. So let's see what is going on in this here trial. Let's see. Hold on.
To get where she is.
Hold on.
In 2015, she joined the cast.
Okay, that's the beginning from yesterday. So let's see if we got see what's going on now. Let me pull this up. Hold on. Because they're playing the one from yesterday like this. Oh, we still waiting. We didn't even miss anything. So let me pull this up. I am going to speak to everyone as soon as I get this up. Please make sure you guys hit the like button on your way in. Hey, TDC, Black Rose, Jam, Jackson, Tabasco. For those of you that are unaware, as you guys see, Imani Ellis versus Cardi B. She is alleging that she was assaulted. She, being Miss Ellis, is alleging that she was assaulted by Cardi B. Cardi B was trying to keep her pregnancy she was trying to keep it private. You know how some celebrities do. And so what she did was she set up an appointment, I guess, on off hours in order to come in to her OBGYN. This lady, Miss Ellis, was the security on staff at that time, not, for the building. Is an allegation that she said that Cardi B had her finger all up in her face. She scratched her nose. She scratched her cheek to the point of which the cheek required cosmetic surgery. And she's also alleging a lot of emotional distress. Apparently, at first, there was an employment allegation. However, I don't think that she is still pursuing that. And that's that, y'all. That's it. That is the rundown. And so we did listen to Miss Ellis's testimony yesterday. You are going to have people that are going to believe what they want to believe. The thing is, and this is what happens when you get a reputation in the public eye, Cardi B does have a reputation or has been accused of different assaultive type behaviors and going off and cussing. So some people just automatically assume that this young lady is telling the truth. However, when you listen to her testimony, there were some contradictions if you paid attention to it. And honestly, it goes to show that sometimes, and I'm not saying this is the case, I'm just saying generally, just so you can have an open mind, there are some people that will assume that people are going to agree with what they say because of someone's reputation. So now you have these celebrities of which, hold on one second. I'm sorry. All right, you guys. I had ordered some lunch and it came really, really fast. But as I was saying, that you have to be careful because when I was just listening to the commentary of a lot of people, or the comments, I would say, on my video, was very, very interesting because people were really arguing with me. I know one person was saying, that people are just going to automatically believe against a black person, and it's sad and all of that. And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? We're trying to look at the facts. It really doesn't matter if you're black, white, Latina. It doesn't really matter. So because of that, hold on one moment. So sometimes, I mean, literally, this person was saying, you know what? You just don't love yourself as a black woman. That's why you go against black people. It's so irrelevant that I said what I said and I kind of moved on when I responded because it's absolutely irrelevant as to what you're talking about. We're looking at the facts of the case. It doesn't matter. We're not going to automatically assume, regardless of what somebody's past entails. This is exactly why the judge did not allow anything about her past actions to be admitted because it's prejudicial. You're proving, these people are proving why it wasn't admitted, because some people will automatically believe, oh, you did it because of what you did in the past. Now, did she probably cuss her out? She probably cussed her out. She probably cussed her out really, really good. But I think that what will happen with a lot of these celebrities is that if you have a history of a certain behavior, then some people will try to capitalize off of that. And so that's what it seemed to be giving in that testimony. But we're going to see again. We only heard one piece of evidence. So we'll hear. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Cardi B's attorney basically gave her side of the story. Said that this lady punched her first or swung at her first. And there was a little bit of a preview when there was a mention of a receptionist that came out and stood in between the two. And when she stood in between the two, she was getting punched by the security guard, allegedly. Like, the security guard called the receptionist supposedly in order to get her to testify as to her rendition of the facts. And I guess that receptionist declined. I don't know. So we'll see if she ends up getting called or not. You said I was shocked this went to trial. Well, they probably were shocked too. They might have thought that she would just settle. And in some cases, you are going to have it where some celebrities are like, nah, just because I got the money don't mean you getting any of it. So I don't know. So we'll see. Again, I know yesterday it was a 30-minute delay. Queen Grandma Rock said, I just don't like the fact that people try to take advantage of people that work so hard for their money and always want to get sued. There's a proper place for everything. And again, I'm a lawyer, so I'm definitely not anti-lawsuit. However, I am a person of which I don't take lawsuits unless I really believe in them. And I vet very, very well. Sometimes to my detriment, where I think some people are like, girl, you can be so much further if you would just not be so picky. I'm not going to drag anybody into court unless you belong there. But that's just me. Everybody is not like me. And yeah, you're going to get some people that are going to sue for a come up. But then you also have the flip side of it, where some people believe that some celebrities feel like they can do what they want when they want because they're celebrities and no one can come after them for what they've done. And sometimes they think that some celebrities are bullies because of it, because they know you, as the average Joe Smo, cannot go against their attorneys or their wealth. So you have that as well. So you have to balance both. But so far, listening to this lady, there were, I don't know, it feels like her claim kind of evolved over time. So in the incident report, she did say that her nose was scratched and she had the phones in her hand. She was on the phone or had the phone to her ear. She was talking to someone. And she said that that Cardi was in her face, had 3-inch nails. Her nose was scratched, and that was it. As time progressed, it added a cut to the cheek. And she's saying she always said that. I guess she's going to have her grandmother, who she has a close relationship with, she's going to come in and say that she saw the scratch, I guess, after the fact. Interestingly, she never took pictures of it right after the incident. There's no way to take a picture and look at the metadata like we saw in the Diddy trial with the balcony incident, how she said she took the pictures on the day of the injury, and the metadata showed that that picture was actually not taken on, it was taken on a day where Diddy was in New York on the Bad Boy tour. So it kind of, helped. And she alleges, I guess at first she said she didn't have any pictures. Then I guess now there were some pictures that were taken. So it was a lot of cleaning up that they were trying to do. We didn't see the recross, the redirect didn't seem very, very, I guess it was helpful. I think the attorney did the best that they could. I think it was helpful to the degree of, yes, when it comes to interrogatories, and the other side knows that when it comes to interrogatories, oftentimes the paralegals or the attorneys assist them in it. So they'll write it out, and you expect your client to read over it and say what isn't real and what isn't correct, or what is correct. Or as time evolves, if there were changes, or even if we got it wrong in the complaint and we said something that shouldn't have been said, and then you sign it. Well, apparently in that discovery, she acknowledged some things, of which included not having any emails to her job related to this incident. And it turned out that she did, but she did testify to it in her deposition. So it kind of shows you that I don't think she was trying to necessarily be trying to hide it or be secretive or trying to evade it or anything. It was that the initial, and that's what discovery is. When you are in discovery, things develop and you may have to supplement what you said. And so, Cardi used that. Cardi's attorneys used that, the differences in her testimony and what was in her original documents and all of that. But some of that she did clean up in her deposition. But there were a lot of inconsistencies that you just can't ignore when you watch it. So that is kind of the brief. If you guys have any questions, then you guys let me know. Make sure you hit the like button. I gotta grab my phone right quick. Hold up. I was rushing on here, and they're not even rushing to give us this video footage, give us this streaming. But let me see. Yeah, Lawn Crime is waiting too. Okay, who is on? Hold on. Cardi B. You guys come on in. If you got any questions while we wait, I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. Miss HLS said, Pam, my work is on fire today, so I sent you 2 stand-in mods. You know what? On fire? Like literally, like flames? Be safe. I don't know what her attorneys could do after her performance on Cross. We about to see, y'all. Patty, let me hold on. Can I even make you a mod on here? Hold on. I might have deleted something I shouldn't have. Sorry. Sorry, Patty. My bad. I was trying to find. Hold on. I should be able to make you a mod on here. Since you the fill-in. I done timed you out, girl. Sorry. I'm trying to make you a mod. Hold on. Jackson Tabasco. Hold on. Child, that's why I don't need to be on here. All right. Can you guys untime her out? I don't even know what I'm deleting messages, timing people out. That's why I need to just mind my legal business and talk about the law instead of trying to do this stuff. Let me see. I don't know. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Miss HLS, I might need you to get Petty Patty back. I don't know what I did with her. I don't know. I don't know what I did. Sorry. You say you can't untie somebody. You like, girl, get with the program. You don't even know what you're doing over here. Sorry. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm trying to okay. Thank you so much, her daughter, for the super chat. Cassandra, thank you for the super sticker. And JMM55, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Oh, they have to wait till their time is up. Dang, that's a long time. How many seconds was it? I think it was like 3,000 seconds or something. I didn't do it on purpose. I don't even know how I did it. It won't let you miss. Oh, Jesus. Okay, wait a minute. Let me see. Let me go to my own. Hold on. Why use management? I mean, she not on my. I got about 500 people blocked on here. It's very bad. This is bad. I should do better. I know some of these are old. They probably need a second chance. I probably have 50,000 subscribers if I didn't block every doggone body. Okay. Let me see if I can. No, that's not her. That's a whole lot of petty petties on YouTube. I don't know. I'm just going to have to let the Lord have his way because I don't know how to fix it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry. It was an accident. I didn't even mean to do it. I was doing it from the studio instead of my actual YouTube page. And yeah, I hit something that I shouldn't have hit, clearly. So there's that. Hopefully she forgives me and knows my heart. Let me see. Oh, they saying Cardi's supposed to testify, y'all. At Petty Patty, I hope you hear me. I sincerely apologize. I don't know what I did, but when you come back, you're going to be a special moderator, okay? I'm going to make it up to you. I just kicked you out for no reason. I don't even know what happened. And I just so apologize and I feel so bad. Oh, goodness. Some symmetry. I'm just making sure she didn't leave. You know what I'm saying? You said I know they can still hear and see the videos. They just can't comment. But she might have said, "Forget her. Shoot, she gonna block me." She might have just left. So I'm just hoping she stuck around and knows that it wasn't on purpose. Right? She ain't even did nothing. People found People found pictures of Cardi the weekend of the incident with the short nail. This another thing too. Another thing with the Cardi B, yes, they were saying she had 3-inch nails, and the lady. When you look at it though, and I want you all, this is just a perspective to consider. I'm not telling you to adopt it. What I'm saying is when you have celebrities that are online, and again, they typically have long nails. They typically, you see them crashing and cussing people out all over the internet. How are you not a target as well? Because how believable that it may come across because of you being known. And it's a jury of your peers. So these the same people that are looking at this Instagram, looking at Facebook, looking at YouTube are the same people that's on the jury. So how easy is it for you to say she was all up in my face? If I came to you guys and was like, "Oh my God, I met Cardi B and I accidentally said something to her and she went off and she was going off and talking fast and was calling me out my name and all of that." You guys are not gonna say, "Girl, you lying." You guys are not gonna say that. Why? Because you're looking like it's probable. You went before more of possible, beyond possibility to probability that it could happen because of the reputation. And so, because of that, you become a target. But the good thing about celebrities is that they got most of them. Sometimes people are famous and they broke, but Cardi got a couple dollars. They got the money to look through phone records, to go about your whereabouts, to see where your whereabouts were. They can look in your computers. They got money for that. They can get cameras. They can get private investigators to find people that was off in the corner of the picture that you seen sitting eating a hot dog. Like they got the money to really thoroughly investigate so they can actually defend themselves. But look how easy it would be for people to believe this because of the reputation. Is it fair? No. That's why I have always preached, even with Diddy, and y'all hated his guts. And I told you, me and the cheesecake incident still got a traumatic bond because when I watched it, I was like, "Oh no." But you still have to learn how to put that aside and focus on this incident. Did they prove this case with these facts and this evidence according to the law? And if you can keep your mind straight on that, then I think a lot of perspectives will change because you're operating out of what our law requires as to what you feel. And I think that is very interesting because just like many other people, it took a lot of training for me to come to that thought process. And so to have jurors that just get on the stand and you kind of expect them to be that way, sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. Oh, yeah. Hey, Queen Shadina, good to see you. I couldn't focus on her account of the story yesterday. Why 504? She didn't come across very persuasive. Hmm? Why? Explain to me why. I'm gonna just watch this on here because I don't want their thing just consistently streaming on my platform. But I'll press play once we get some action. Yeah, Cardi's supposed to testify. They say she's set to testify, but if she's set to testify, does that mean that the plaintiff is calling her? Like, why is she set scheduled? Are they going out of order? Because I'm sure the plaintiff has more people to call. Cardi would testify in her own defense unless they decide to call her adversarially. I don't know what is happening, but they alleging that she's supposed to testify. But I don't think she will be testifying today. The trial just happened. Okay, wait a minute. Look like we might got a little action. Hold on. Thank you, Tiffany, for the super chat. You said appreciate you. Many blessings to you and yours. Thank you. I received that. Let me see if let me go to law and crime. See what they talking about. See if they looking at more than the ceiling right now. Law and crime. Thank you, Sherman, for the super sticker. I appreciate it. This isn't law and crime trials. No, that's from yesterday. They got court is in lunch. Is this the right one? No, they on the 8. That's the Anderson trial. Let me see. Theirs is coming up too. It's Patty back. Patty. Thank you so much. Thank you. I did you bad. I did you so bad today. I'm sorry. Hold on. Sorry about that. It was an accident. Welcome back to the channel. You were putting time out for no reason. Okay. She said she was in jail, but she's free. She's free. Thank you for holding on. Thank you for yet holding on, Patty. We missed you. We missed you while you were incarcerated for a few moments. "504 stay timed out." You know what I'm saying? I timed her out on accident, though. I was, yeah. Thank you for being a good sport and not unsubscribing to the channel. All right, what are y'all doing? Can we get to the nitty gritty here? If you guys do not follow me over there on the Instagram, please follow me on Instagram at pam.esq. I am also over there on TikTok. I'm on Twitter too, but I'm never really over there. TikTok, I'm trying to be better. I might start going live over there. So make sure that you follow me on TikTok. I have just posted a reel on Instagram. So make sure you like it and all that good stuff. Okay. If If you're just coming in, we're just waiting on some action to happen, okay? You're not late. You're right on time. So let's hit that button on the way in. Like the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel. You said, was it a cashless? It's the humor for me. If it was a cashless bond, we just don't know how long that's going to last. Because our president was just up there signing stuff. He was like, what is this for? What is this going to do? Is this going to apply to everybody? No, it was Illinois that they were worried about because, Illinois was kind of the ringleaders. Thank you, Hoodie Footy, for becoming a YouTube member. I appreciate it. So. I am not mute, so you might want to check your channel. Really, BTV said in DC doesn't even have cashless bond. I don't know what DC did. I don't know. DC has been the center of attention lately. All right. If you guys don't come up here with this, oh gosh, start this doggone trial. Please do what Tiffany said. Please hit the like button and thank you so much. I appreciate the support over here on the channel. Really, B, how is school going? You back in class? All of your great, phenomenal, intelligent future leaders that you are raising up. Measure Man said, have you brought up the Man Act charge yet? And then she dressed like an extra OnStar check today. We haven't, she hasn't come on yet. Thank you for the super chat. The trial hasn't started yet. So was he? He was told not to go. Imagine telling the president not to go somewhere. If I was president, I'm like, oh, okay. All right. I'll be knocking on your door. You got to take that in there because you can't play that while I'm on here. Okay, you can't have any sound on. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'll probably stop.
Okay. Yes, the public can be in the gallery. There's a lot of people from California. That's how I was surprised that I didn't see more people commentating on it yesterday, because there are a lot of people from California. You have Armandis from California. Megan Cuniff is from California. She is just taking the videos. Hold on. She was just taking the videos as well and talking about them. Hold on one second.
Somebody sent it.
Seems like everybody is coming to the door now that I went live. Do I have contacts there? What do you mean? Like at the court, like within the court? No, I don't. That's sitting in the court. I don't have any contacts there. Do I generally speaking have contacts with people in California? Yes. But no, not at the court hearing. I don't even know how many people really knew that this was happening. I told you all last week because I was watching that docket. It wasn't anything I talked a lot about, but this case was filed in 2020 before I even got on YouTube. for an event that allegedly occurred in 2018. So it wasn't anything that I covered from beginning to end. And honestly, a lot of people are just getting into doing legal commentary. You know, you had attorneys that's been on YouTube, but typically they'll talk about their cases or give you tips on the law and all of that. But actually coming on and covering these type of cases and going over documents, I honestly started seeing way more of that after I got on YouTube, more than before. So this was a case that was honestly, like, again, a couple of years before I even got on YouTube at all. But I pulled the case, and I don't remember why I pulled the case. Maybe just being nosy. I don't know. But I've always had this case. So I knew the complaint. And something, I was like, dang, I never heard about what's going on with this case. And then about a week or so ago, I looked it up and I was like, this is going to trial. Wow. And so that's what really made me just, follow to see if it was going to start. So what happened yesterday, of course, is they had jury selection. That was in the morning. Then I think in the afternoon is when they started the actual putting on proofs. And the only person that testified was Miss Ellis. And by the time the recross happened, we didn't have any more feed. So you know what, 80% CMOS, we really gonna go there. Say a bald-headed Pam gonna always get us in the courtroom. Yeah, I had a few people that hated my guts on the internet because they couldn't swing their legal cases, because I will pull up documents. I'm not trying to make it up. I'll say it's an allegation, but a lot of times the allegations come with receipts or evidence. So people would get mad at me, call me out of my name, low hanging fruit. Call me out of my name. First, I was a fake lawyer for a while. I wasn't real. Then I guess they Googled it. Then they were saying it was unauthorized practice of law. Then I guess they looked me up at the state bar. And then it was, so I went through a lot when I first got on here, because I was pulling up these documents and these videos and trials and standing in trials and stuff. And people were trying to find a way to hate me and just come against what my credibility on whether I was a lawyer or not. Because I think people that went into that trial, I know specifically for Tory Lanez, people that went into the Tory Lanez trial, they definitely just wanted their fave to come out on the winning side, and they didn't care about the evidence. For me, I didn't care about none of these people, hadn't even heard of them before I went, except, like I said, one song I knew about Meg Thee Stallion. Hadn't heard about Tory Lanez at all. Had to have my kids explain to me who the heck he was. And then my son was like, yeah, that would be good for you to go down there. And that was the first case. And I went down there and came in and covered it. Now, our mom was there for that. When I covered Tory Lanez, our mom was there. Milagro was there. That is part of why she has the issue she has with Meg and Pete right now, or Meg Thee Stallion. Megan Cuniff, that is kind of where we learned who she was. She's been a journalist for decades, but that was the case of which it popularized her, especially in the Black community, of which they were leaning on her for the information. And she was on everybody's television programs and news stations and all of that. And so she covers a lot of hip hop stuff now. I don't even think she had a YouTube channel before. She started her TikTok. She did all type of stuff off of that case because she got so much play off of that Tory Lanez trial. So you'll see her still clipping a lot of these hip hop artists and all of that, because honestly, that's what that gave her a lot of track. Now she's done some major stories. She has as a journalist. I don't want to take it away from her, but this is what made a lot of us know who she was Tory Lanez. Who else was there? I think those were like the notable ones, I guess, that I would say that was there. There was a lot of people that said they were bloggers. And I know Nick at Night was there. She's from Cali. But it was a line. Like they had a certain amount of people that could come into a trial. And they had media, they had credentials beforehand, so they were able to come in automatically. But for the public,
We had you here early so we can discuss the brief filed yesterday regarding the witnesses that were identified on the prior witness lists as the receptionist and employees at the medical center. Apparently, they have subsequently been identified. I think one of them was identified on a previous witness list, and one was most recently identified as soon as, what, Friday?
I believe so, Your Honor, yes.
Okay. I had a chance to look at the.
Did you see my opposition, Your Honor?
I have not. Did you file one?
Yes, I did. I gave it to the clerk this morning. It was filed early this morning. You asked me to brief it, and I got the time to do that. And I wish to be heard.
you guys made her change her hair. Look at you guys.
Your Honor, discovery was served on the defendant in 2022. Exhibit 1 are the form interrogatories which were served on her prior counsel September 30th of 2022. Prior counsel asked me for extensions several times so they could get the information that I wanted. And they finally responded on January 17th of 2023. As the court goes to Exhibit 2 on page 21 of the responses, it says there's responding party incorporates by reference preliminary statement and general objection set forth above, subject to and without waiving the foregoing objections. Responding party responds as follows. Responding party may be contacted through defendant's counsel. Imani Ellis may be contacted through plaintiff's counsel. Unknown staff employees at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, including at least 2 such persons who intervened during the incident. Discoveries continue. This incident did not happen at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. Cedars-Sinai Medical Center is 2 miles away from this office building. This was, in my opinion, either grossly negligent on the part of counsel for the defendant, or, as I've argued in my brief, an intentional way of hiding who these witnesses are. I can't see how the defendant would go to a doctor and not know the doctor's name, or at least do whatever it takes to get the doctor's name. It's really not that hard. When she went to this doctor, she could have found out his name and disclosed it in discovery.
Okay, so your point's taken on the defendant likely knowing the name of her own doctor. What about the receptionist?
All right, so the receptionist, also the issue with the receptionist would be that either her attorney or herself can call and say, doctor, who's the receptionist that was there that day? Again, she's the patient, they would have to tell her. And I would like to also add, Your Honor, I did Exhibit 3, question number 15. Again, same thing. They refused to produce the witness information, and I was not able to take the deposition of these people. I don't know what they're going to say. It's highly prejudicial. It goes against the Discovery Act, and it should not be allowed. And they're arguing that I shouldn't be able to bring my witnesses. They're making the same argument that I'm making. So it would only seem fair that if the court's going to exclude mine, the court should exclude theirs.
Okay. So there's a hearsay statement in the defendant's brief, and I'm acknowledging that it's hearsay, but they contend that the witnesses both testify or both said that they had been contacted by you. And you're just saying that that's not
So,
true?
yeah, that's not true. I never contacted them, not in 28, I never went to the building. Even though it's across the street from my office, I did not go there till a few days ago to take 22 pictures. I took it on a Friday night, maybe around 6 or 7 p.m. Went back one more time to take a couple more pictures. But I
In fact,
never,
the client testified she took the pictures.
I took the pictures with her together. We were together.
Okay.
I did not go back. I did not know about the doctor. I did take a picture of the doctor's sign after they, a month ago or a couple weeks ago, told me there's this doctor. But this is not the way to do the work. This is not the way to do business here. You have to disclose who the doctor is. It's her treating doctor. It's as if plaintiff would not disclose her treating doctor. It's the equivalent of that.
And then isn't it fair to say that the receptionist was identified in prior witness lists?
Never identified. It just says random person. There's not even a name there. So I would say this, Your Honor, I don't know what the doctor's gonna testify to. He may just say, I was in my office and I heard a disturbance outside. Okay, well, fine. So I don't get a depose him, not a big deal. So this random person that they're bringing up, that was never even named. We don't even have an actual substance name. The only time I learned about this person's name was yesterday, when in that defendant's memorandum, they brought up this person, Tiara Malcolm. It's not even on the witness list. I don't even know who she is. So in the middle of the trial, when I'm not able to depose this person and do nothing with her, they're just gonna randomly throw out this person, well, let's bring this person into trial. It's not fair, Your Honor.
All right, hear from the defense.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. First of all, regarding Cedars-Sinai, Dr. Finke was associated and affiliated with Cedars-Sinai. The building is the Medical Center of Beverly Hills, and that's the reason for the reference to Cedars-Sinai. Second, I'm going to start with the prejudice argument, which is that they didn't know who these people were. Actually, plaintiff testified yesterday that within a few weeks of this February 2018 incident, she called Ms. Malcolm. She worked in the building. She knew Ms. Malcolm. She knew Dr. Finke, who came out, and they didn't identify them. They knew them and they didn't identify them. So to say that, well, he's been prejudiced because he didn't take their depositions, she's known since 2018 who the doctor was and who Tiara was.
You saying there was testimony yesterday or in her deposition?
Yesterday.
Okay.
Yesterday, I specifically asked her, did you contact Tiara Malcolm? And she said yes.
I disagree with that.
Sorry. But to me, the prejudice argument makes no sense. She worked in the building. She knew Tiara. They did not disclose those names in discovery. Now, on the other hand, they say that this doctor was Cardi's treating physician. That's absolutely wrong. Her treating physicians are in the East Coast. She was here on work, and she was pregnant. She asked to speak to someone. Someone made arrangements for her to go in. She met with Dr. Finke that day, 15 minutes, and left. 3 years later, they asked who this person was. No one knew. We asked who it was. Previous counsel asked. The only way, because they didn't disclose these names, the only way we found out was through Mrs. Moore's diligent work, which resulted, for example, in 2024, we identified Dr. Finke because she had actually literally, tried to contact every doctor in that office, finally pulled a photograph of the doctors from the website, showed them to Cardi, and she said, yeah, it's that one. And then we promptly identified it. Tiara, we had no clue. Cardi had gone to that office that day. She didn't go around and memorize the names of the receptionist or anyone else. The only one who knew Tiara's name until July 28th of this year is plaintiff, who contacted her and worked in the same building. So, I mean, this idea that we should have, or prior counsel should have identified them, the problem is based on the assumption that Dr. Finke is Cardi's, and that's exactly what they say. Dr. Finke was her treating physician. That's absolutely false. She was traveling. She went in to see him. She saw him one day, and that was the end of it. And then 3 years later, someone asked, well, what was his name? And she said, I don't know his name. Now, the
I'm
other
sorry,
thing,
so it was is it Finke?
Finke, or Finke,
That person was on the prior witness list?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
that was served in 2024. By then, Ms. Warren had tracked him down.
So, Mr. John Fazza, can you respond to that? According to the
I will respond.
the Moore declaration, that they identified Dr. Finke in early May.
I will look at that, Your Honor, right now, but to paint the picture that plaintiff knew Tierra Malcolm's name is false. To paint a picture that you go to a doctor's office and you're not their patient is also false. It would be an impossibility for that to occur. And I'm sure Dr. Finke will testify that Cardi B is his patient.
Dr. Finke, I can make an offer of proof, will testify that he met her that day, saw her that day. They had minimal contact, 15 minutes, and have never heard from her again until we contacted him and added him to the witness list. I also would note Dr. Finke will testify that counsel went into his office multiple times, including by not only going through the reception area, but going through the back door, asking everyone there, do you know anything about this incident? Do you know anything about this incident? Repeatedly tried to contact Dr. Finke over the last 4 or 5 years. That's what Dr. Finke will testify if he's called upon to do so.
Okay, so let me do this. We got the jury's getting checked in. Do you have a rough from yesterday regarding that testimony?
I think we have actually final, I believe, and so.
Oh.
I'm not sure we have it with us, but we will submit it.
Okay, I want to see the testimony, and so we'll resume the argument on this issue because we weren't planning on calling them today, correct?
Depends on what, yeah,
That's fine, but because we're here now, I want to add a sentence,
Okay.
okay, because it's about me, okay? I'm declaring under penalty of perjury, I did not go into his doctor's office.
Okay.
That is an absolute lie and false.
Okay.
And I don't think that's right.
could I say one last thing?
Sure.
This whole case is about, even by her own testimony, an altercation, an argument when two people came out of the doctor's office. When that was all the prior counsel knew and that party knew, that's what she stated in the interrogatory response in January of 2022. That that witnesses included two people who came out and separated them. The only person who knew that was plaintiff, and she failed to disclose.
Okay. All right. I think we're still checking in our witnesses. Jurors. Should she check in now?
Something about the doctor that I'm going to call at 9:30. Sure. So he does have a CV, and I know that the other side may say that I can't even introduce the CV because they won't even let me do anything. So I want to know if they're going to object to producing the CV to the doctor to review and to have it admitted as evidence.
And it's a hearsay document, right?
It's exhibit number 9. It's the doctor's CV and rate sheet, and it is, I'm gonna ask him about it, I'll lay a foundation. But I believe that it should be seen by the jury because it has all of his credentials and the court limited my time to 1 hour. If that's the case, then I have to go through 22 pages of CV, that takes 2 hours. I can't do it in 1 hour unless he's gonna stick with it.
I don't understand this. We wouldn't plan on objecting to a CV other than, I guess it's hearsay, but if he wants to offer, he can offer it. I mean,
I'll just say, my practice is if the parties stipulate to admitting CVs, I'll admit them. If the parties don't, then usually it's hearsay, and I'm not going to admit it. I will tell you that to me, it doesn't really matter. Most of the time when I've seen it admitted, it's been in med mal cases. In other cases, the doctor can explain what his training education experience is. So it's up to you.
Your Honor, I will make this offer that both sides can have their doctor's CVs admitted into evidence. It'd be Rosenberg for them and Mulligan for, I'm willing to do that, so we don't have to waste jury's time on this.
I expect that we anticipate doing what Your Honor described, saying that the witness can testify, which is what he did. If that makes counsel happy, then a reciprocal stipulation that TVs can be submitted.
Okay, great, fine. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, we ready?
Yes, Your
All right, you ready?
Thank
Alright, we're ready.
goodness. So it sounds like they were having issue of some undisclosed witness, i.e. the doctor that was at the office and the receptionist. And there was testimony yesterday on cross where Cardi's attorney said, didn't you go and you called the receptionist and asked her to be on your side? And I think she agreed to that. So I think that is the testimony he's referring to by saying that her attorney and her knew about, or at least the client knew about this receptionist and the name because she tried to contact them allegedly. So I think that's the testimony they're referring to on whether we're not a ambush litigation type of judicial system. And so you have to
All
disclose.
right, welcome back, everyone. We're still on the record in the Ellis matter. We are now joined by our jury and alternates. We're still in the plaintiff's case in chief. And does plaintiff have another witness to call?
Yes, Your Honor. Plaintiff will be calling Brent Mulligan, MD.
Sounds like a doctor.
Can I get him real quick?
Sure.
Maybe this is the doctor that's going to talk about the scar. That looks like that might be Miss Ellis. Is that her? Yeah, there's Miss Ellis.
Dr. Monaghan, if I can please have you stand right next to the court clerk. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly state that the testimony you may give and the cause now pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
Certainly, Brent, B-R-E-N-T, Mulliken, M-O-E-L-L-E-K-E-N, M-D, F-A-C-S.
Great, thank you. You may take a seat, please watch your step.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. Thank you all for coming back. Good morning, Dr. Mulligan.
Good morning.
Were you the treating doctor for Imani Ellis, who's sitting to my right here?
Yes,
What did you treat her for?
she had a scar on her left cheek.
Okay, and what is your current occupation?
I'm a plastic and reconstructive surgeon.
Are you board certified?
Yes,
For how many years have you been a plastic and reconstructive?
since 1995.
It's about 30 years?
Yes,
Okay, and early on in your, I'll strike that. Where did you go to undergraduate school?
to Purdue University for 2 years.
And where did you go to medical school?
At Yale Medical School.
And you did some work at Harvard as well?
Yes,
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
yes. So I finished undergraduate in 2 years, and then I took a a position at Harvard University as a graduate position in literature, German and English literature. So that was for 1 year. And then I went off to medical school at Yale.
And you're also a clinical associate professor at UCLA?
Yes,
Can you tell us a little bit about what that is?
yes. So I've been, since 1995, I've been affiliated with UCLA. That means I'm a clinical professor there. So you teach the residents who are learning plastic surgery, and you teach the medical students at UCLA.
And we asked you to be here as an expert witness, correct?
Yes,
And a treating doctor?
yes,
And in cases where you serve as a treating doctor, in cases that are litigated, you then can serve also as an expert witness?
yes.
And what does an expert witness do?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not 100% sure at the different designations. There's a treating doctor, an expert, a retained expert, a non-retained expert, so that's way above my pay grade.
Understood.
That wasn't a good
In
question.
this case, were you forced to cancel patients so that you could appear here in court today?
Forced
Yes.
And you left your home at 7:30 a.m. to get here at 8:30?
A little earlier.
And you anticipate to be here at least till 11 a.m. or 12 noon?
Yes,
And did you cancel all of your patients for today?
yes.
He's getting into how
And
much
in order to be here, how much money have you lost in income?
Well,
Irrelevant.
his point is he's trying to
so I would estimate 20 to 30,000
see.
in the procedures we would have performed, the patients we would have seen and scheduled.
He's
And the
justifying
reason
how
you
much
did that is
he gets
because
paid.
you want to help your patient, correct?
Yes,
And in order to be able to offset some of the loss, you're charging $2,000 an hour to be here as an expert witness.
that's correct.
Told you. No, I was saying they're asking about all of
When
that.
you serve as an expert witness, you tend to serve as an expert more for the plaintiff, more.
So let me say this real quick. The reasoning why is because part of what the other side is going to do is say, listen, you were paid to come here and say the stuff that you said. So what he was trying to do was he was trying to establish that as they went, the reasoning why he was there, he was losing money. And so justifying the amount that he's going to charge of $2,000 an hour just to come and testify. So that was part of why he's doing that. Although it may seem like it doesn't make sense, it takes away any bias is what they're trying to do, that he would just do this because he's getting paid. No, he lost thousands of dollars because he wasn't doing the plastic surgery and all the other stuff that he's done. Now they're going to get into the expert on whether he usually does it for plaintiff defense or both. So they're trying to eliminate bias of this individual doctor, that he's just doing it because he's like you do have professional testifiers that all they do is testify, as we saw that in the Diddy trial.
For the defense, or is there some percentage that you could tell us?
It's roughly 50-50. So I'm retained by defense firms and by plaintiff firms equally.
Is it your understanding that in this case, the defense chose not to designate an expert? Is that your understanding?
Objection calls for hearsay, lacks foundation.
Do you know of any other plastic surgeon that's rendered any opinion in this case besides
Objection lacks
yourself?
foundation.
Have you seen any medical reports or any type of documentation from a different plastic surgeon
No,
related to this case?
no.
When you serve as an expert witness, isn't it true that usually there's an opposing expert on the other side who would then argue with your opinion?
Objection lacks foundation, irrelevant. 372.
Much move on, counsel.
We need to move on.
Did you review 85 pages of medical records of Imani Ellis prior to testifying today?
Yes,
And if you were to look at your exhibit book that's in front of you, the one on your right, if you can go to exhibit 1-004.
yes.
Yes, the doctor will be cross-examined.
At the bottom corner, it will say exhibit 1-001, and then 2, 3, and 4.
I think the exhibits are over here.
Can I approach your honor? Go ahead.
Yes, yeah, so it's actually. Okay. I'm sorry about that.
Do you see a list of Imani Ellis's medical records and bills?
Yes.
And you reviewed all the records and bills?
Briefly, yes.
And for your treatment in your office, did you charge Miss Imani Ellis $6,500?
Yes.
And surgery center, $11,000?
Yes.
Why do you charge these amounts for the treatment that you gave for Imani Ellis?
Well, her procedures were performed in an operating room. So we have the operating room staff and sterility, and it's done in a JACO, meaning Joint Commission, approved surgery center.
Could you have done this outside of the surgery center?
You could have done it, but it wouldn't have been as sterile.
And you wouldn't follow that type of practice?
I don't do that. So,
And in your review of the medical records, did you also see that Imani Ellis treated with 2 psychologists?
yes.
You reviewed all those records and bills?
Briefly, yes.
If we can just go to Exhibit 9, which is your CV. I just wanted to go over your CV a little bit. Your CV is 22 pages long, including your rate sheet, is that correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would ask that Exhibit 9 be admitted into evidence.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Go ahead. All right, so
This is the first page of your CV, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and this explains all of your, you have 2 different offices?
I do.
Why do you have 2 offices?
Well, just one in Beverly Hills and one in Santa Barbara. So,
Okay. And if you look through your CV, for example, on page 3, professional organizations, are there any that would be important for this case that you feel the jury should know about?
well, I became board certified in general surgery and trauma surgery before doing my training in plastic surgery. So I then became board certified in plastic and reconstructive surgery. And I've done 2 additional fellowships, one in aesthetic surgery and one in microsurgery. So that's 10 years of residency after 4 years of medical school.
And on page 4, you have hospital affiliations. Can you tell us your affiliations with these 2 hospitals?
Yes, so I'm currently an attending at UCLA Medical Center. And previously I was an attending at Cedars-Sinai Hospital, but I gave up those privileges and now I'm exclusively at UCLA.
Then on page 5, you have some other information such as being a super doctor. What is a super doctor?
Well, a super doctor is 5% of the doctors in a community are chosen by their peers. So I've been a super doctor for 15 years and on various committees with the Blue Ribbon Committee. So I'm proud of those awards.
Do you do any charity work?
I do.
Can you tell us a little bit about your charity work?
Right. Like, come on. We get it. He's qualified as an expert. Let's move on to this case.
Is there anything else about your education that you would like to add?
Well, I'm in clinical practice, so I'm a practicing plastic and reconstructive surgeon. But I teach at UCLA. So I'm a clinical professor at UCLA. So that means just a teaching position.
You teach other medical residents?
Yes, medical residents, medical students, and usually plastic surgery residents. So they've completed their training and they're in their last few years of training. So those are the doctors that I spend most time with.
Now I want to go to this case and ask you some more information about this case. Do you remember seeing this patient, Imani Ellis, in your practice?
Yes,
And when she came to your office for medical treatment, did she provide a history to you?
yes,
Did you use the history in your treatment and diagnosis of the patient?
yes.
And what was the history that she gave you?
Well, she mentioned that she had been, the left side of her face had been injured by fingernail scratches.
Okay.
So that was the basic salient history. And then I looked at her and looked at her wound. And so in order to determine what I need to do to help her out, I had to diagnose her problem. So I wanted to see if there was hypersensitivity in the wound. Hypersensitivity means, for example, if you have a splinter underneath your skin, it may not show much, but you can feel the splinter under your skin because it's hypersensitive. So I noticed that she had a focus of hypersensitivity on her face. Now, when I examine for that, I touch many areas and see if the patient's pain symptoms are always the same. In other words, if they always come from the same area. So that's how I made my diagnosis of her scar, the visible aspects of it and the hypersensitivity aspects of it.
All right, if you can go to Exhibit 4, to the grade, I mean the one that you have in your hand.
Okay.
The white one.
All right. To what number, I'm sorry?
4.
Oh, 4.
In your medical evaluation of the patient, you saw her for the first time on November 4th, 2022.
Yes,
Were you advised by Imani Ellis or anyone else that Miss Ellis was seen by a different plastic surgeon before you?
Objection calls for hearsay.
2022.
If you go to Exhibit 4-009,
4 years after the
at the
incident.
bottom, can you read for us what it says in handwriting?
yes.
Are you aware that Miss Imani Ellis saw a Dr. Scher before you?
Objection, hearsay.
Is it important to you when treating a patient if they've seen any prior doctor?
Objection, irrelevant, my citation.
No, it's very important if they've done treatment. If they've done treatment, then I need to know what treatment they did.
Okay, so in order to do your work with this patient, Imani Ellis, you would need to know if any other doctor, such as a plastic surgeon, did any other work on Imani Ellis, correct?
Yes,
And when you asked Miss Imani Ellis if she got treatment, did she tell you she saw a different doctor, Dr. John Scher?
Objection, hearsay.
Do you know the Dr. Scher? Do you know him?
no,
Are you aware that Dr. Scher has passed away?
Objection, my foundation calls for speculation.
Overruled.
that's what I've been told. I didn't verify.
Hearsay, move to strike.
For a patient such as Imani Ellis, the kind of injury that she sustained, is it true that if Imani Ellis had came to you within a couple of months after the incident, that you would advise Imani Ellis to wait 1 to 2 years to determine if this cut would become a scar?
Wax foundation.
Is that-
calls- Oh, sorry.
Is that the proper course?
Object.
He's struggling with.
For a patient like Imani Ellis who sustained a cut, how long should she wait before getting plastic
So
surgery?
counsel, why don't you establish that there are different treatments, what type of cut it was, how deep the cut was, whether it was likely to scar, what he knows about the scar.
Now
establish
he's telling them
information
how
for
to
the
cross them, how to direct examine them.
Can you describe for us the scar that Imani Ellis had when you examined her on November 4th of 2022 for the first time?
Yes, she had vertically oriented, in other words, up and down scars. There were actually two of them, but one was more prominent, and it was hyperpigmented, and it was hypersensitive.
And isn't it true that it would take at least 1 year before the scar formed?
Objection lacks foundation, calls for speculation.
Overruled.
No, scars can form quickly sometimes. Sometimes it takes a long time for them to form.
Do you believe it was correct for Imani Ellis to wait before obtaining the medical treatment that she received in your office?
Objection lacks foundation, calls for speculation.
Consistent.
Jesus.
And the type of medical treatment that you performed, isn't it true that during the pandemic, which started in April of 2022, for at least several months and years, there was limited availability for patients to receive plastic surgery?
That's very true.
And your office was shut down for several months at least?
Well, I perform a lot of reconstructive surgery and emergency surgery, so my office was never shut down.
But if a patient needed to receive the type of treatment like Imani Ellis received, and they contacted you in May of 2020, during the pandemic, you would not be able to work on them, or you probably would tell them to wait, correct?
Objection, compound, calls for speculation, lacks foundation.
Consistent.
Wow.
Isn't it true that a scar such as Imani Ellis's, when she came to you in 2022, the scar would basically never have gone away unless you performed some type of medical treatment, correct?
Objection leading, calls for speculation, lacks foundation.
Speculation. What are we doing?
Can you tell us in your, on 4-001 in the HPI, can you read the four lines there, please, from your report?
In the which line, I'm sorry?
It's hearsay. Why don't you move on?
It's like it's hearsay. Move on.
In, when you treated Miss Imani Ellis, did she tell you that she was assaulted and battered by Cardi B?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
No,
Yes.
that's an exception for medical treatment.
Did she explain to you that Cardi B placed her long fingernails with sharp objects in her face?
That's what you told me, yes.
Did she state to you that her face was red and hot after the incident?
Yes.
And can you tell us, when you personally examined Imani Ellis, did you see 3 lines on her face on the left side of her cheek?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Yes.
What is the significance of the 3 lines?
Well, it's typical for a fingernail injury when you have parallel lines going from the top to the bottom. So that's vertically oriented, so up and down rather than horizontally. So typically that's how fingernail injuries manifest.
Is it your expert opinion that Imani Ellis sustained an injury to her left cheek from fingernails?
Objection leading.
Consistent.
I'm sorry?
Why is he questioning like that? He's on direct examination. This is your client, your witness. You're not supposed to be leading. You should have practiced.
All right, can you tell us, please, how many times you saw Imani Ellis for medical treatment?
I believe 3 total.
Can you just please go through the treatment that you gave her from the beginning to the end?
Yes. So there was an initial examination, and then I performed 2 procedures on her. So those were done in the operating room, and I did what's called medical microneedling, which is a procedure where you place local anesthesia underneath the skin to numb the skin, and then you do deep microneedling at a depth of approximately 2 millimeters. It does cause the patient to bleed, but the bleeding is very small because the needles are very small. So then we apply various creams to prevent infection. And then we see the patient back in approximately 4 to 6 weeks. So after that period of time, she returned. We had noticed some improvement in the hypersensitivity and some improvement in the hyperpigmentation. So I basically performed an identical procedure, also under local anesthesia. And after that, I believe I did not see her again. We may have Zoomed, but I can't recall exactly.
Do you believe that your patient benefited from the medical treatment she received from you?
Yes.
And you're familiar with the billing procedures and charges from your office and other medical providers such as plastic surgeons and surgery centers and the like?
Yes.
Is it part of your practice to review the medical bills for your office and other types of medical providers?
Well, it's a part of my,
I'm sorry.
Objection, compound, and hearsay.
Okay.
That's the one word.
so it's my function as a medical director of a surgery center, which I've been for 25 years, to know the fees that are charged at the various institutions like UCLA or Cedar or in similar institutions in the community.
And when you examined Monty Ellis on November 4th of 2022, you performed an examination, you wrote a 4-page report, you reviewed medical records and medical bills, you spoke with the patient for how long approximately?
Well, we maybe spent 45 minutes total with her, but that includes the assistant going in, asking the questions, and then she transcribes it to an iPad, and then I go in the room, I do the examination, I record the results of my examination, and then correct anything on the iPad that I want to add to.
And to write the report of 4 pages, review all the medical records, review all the documents, see the patient, everything. That one day on November 4th of 22, you charged $1,500, is that correct?
That's correct.
And if you were to make that same examination, go through all those steps today, you would actually be charging $2,500, correct?
Objection,
You can.
That's correct.
The fee has gone up because of inflation and the cost of medical care?
Just
Objection, you can.
Yeah, that's what it costs. You have to.
All right. And the medical procedures that you did on February 20th of 23 and March 20th of 23, the 2 procedures, each one you charged $2,500, is that correct?
That's correct.
And the same procedures today, what would you charge?
Well, it would be approximately $6,500. If you notice in my initial report, that's the amount I quoted, but for some reason it was billed at $2,500. So that was an error, but it is what it is.
So then in fact, the $2,500 charge should have been $6,500?
Correct.
Twice.
That's what it costs to perform surgery, in a surgery center.
And approximately how long does it take from the time the patient comes into the office, gets prepared for surgery, and is sent home for each of the 2 surgical procedures you did?
Well, approximately 2 to 3 hours.
And the surgery center has to be booked for a certain period of time?
Yes.
And you got to prepare it, do the procedure, clean it, make sure it's good. How long does all that take? How much time do you book the surgery center for Miss Amani Ellis on those?
Well, the 2 to 3 hours would not include the technicians, the surgical tech preparing the equipment or the cleanup. That was just the 2 or 3 hours would be the time from the time the patient arrives, fills out the paperwork, the consents are given. We again talk about the risks and benefits of the procedure. We put on topical anesthesia. We let that work. We take them to the operating room. We put on, we induce local anesthesia with injections. We do the procedure. We watch her post-operatively to make sure she doesn't have any allergic reactions or trouble with her skin. And then we make sure she's dressed properly, has post-operative instructions, and then she's discharged.
And there's obviously different types of skin that you deal with in your practice, correct?
Yes.
There's lighter skin, darker skin, rough skin, soft skin. Can you just tell us a little bit of the difference in procedures that you would do to the different types of skin?
Yes. So there's a grading scheme from 1 to 5, and 1 would be a patient with very delicate skin, for example, a redhead who might have very delicate skin and would not tan at all, it would just burn. So that would be Fitzpatrick 1. And then Fitzpatrick 3 might be Asian patients, Hispanic patients, patients of mixed race, and then up to Fitzpatrick 5, which would be black skin. So depending on the coloration of the skin, that determines what lasers you can use, what procedures you can use in a safe manner.
Okay, and what, on that scale, what is Imani Ellis?
5.
5. Is there a difference, for example, if you take photographs of a patient with 5 on the Fitzpatrick scale, if you take photographs of their skin versus someone with a 1?
Yes, in general, in black patients, the lesions are less visible just because of the coloration.
And when you examined Imani Ellis for the first time on November 4th of 22, did you, with your own eyes and your equipment, you saw the scars, correct?
Yes.
And how many scars did you see?
Well, I saw one main one. That's the one I recorded. But I saw other things that were, differences in the skin, differences in the pores, an adjacent scrape mark. I saw those things as well. But the main thing was that there was one main scar. That was the hypersensitive one.
Is it your expert opinion that Imani Ellis sustained injuries to her left cheek from fingernails?
That's not the standard.
What is your opinion as to where Imani Ellis obtained the scar in her left cheek?
Well, the most likely,
Judge is over it. Judge. Call me. I'll tell you how to ask these questions, okay? Just give me a call.
What was the size of the scar? Did you measure it?
yes, it was approximately 2 centimeters that I noted. That was the main scar.
You should have started with
Can you tell us approximately how long is 2 centimeters in inches?
Yes, so an inch is 2.5 centimeters, so it's a little less than an inch.
Two centimeters is approximately 1 inch, or a little less?
2.5
2.5 centimeters is 1 inch.
is about an inch.
Why was it? Why was hypersensitivity important in this case?
Well, hypersensitivity is a very unpleasant sensation, and it's often associated with scars. So my job is not just to make the scar look better, but it is to reduce the hypersensitivity. That's in some respects the most important thing, is to reduce the hypersensitivity in the scar.
bingo bango.
And when you examined the scar earlier, you testified that you were of the opinion that the scar came about from from fingernails. Is that correct?
Objection leading in this characterization.
You tell me by a reasonable degree of medical certainty.
What is your expert opinion as to where the scar came from on Imani Ellis's left cheek?
Well, based on the the direction of the scars based on the fact that there were 2 to 3 scars that were parallel and they were vertically oriented, in other words, up to down, based on the fact that the central scar was the deepest, based on the fact that the central scar started the highest. This is a pattern that is most closely associated with fingernails because the middle finger is longer than the index finger and the ring finger. So when the fingers are drawn down, the middle finger causes the deepest scrape, and the other scars cause a lesser deep scar. And they also begin later than the middle finger, because the middle finger being longest, it grips the skin first. So it's the highest. The central scar is the highest. And the fact that they're parallel is highly suggestive of a fingernail injury.
Is that to a degree of medical certainty?
Yes.
See, he's listening.
And what does it mean for the jury, if you could explain, what does medical certainty mean when an expert makes that type of?
51% or more. It's the most likely explanation. There are other explanations, but this is the most likely explanation.
And in order to formulate your opinion, you reviewed medical records, correct?
Well, I did, but that wasn't as important as the
No, of course,
physical.
I was gonna go through a laundry list of what we did, but why don't you just tell me, what did you do to formulate your expert opinion?
The number one thing I did was examine the patient. That's the number one thing. So I noticed where the scar was. I noticed what symptoms she was having. And that alone, sure, the medical records are helpful. You always review them just in case there's something that might be important if you're doing surgery on somebody later. But the physical exam is the most important thing. That tells you what you need to do with the patient.
What was the age of the stuff? How do we know when it
In
happened?
how many cases over the last 30 years, and how many patients have you treated for assault and battery type of incident?
Many hundreds.
And is there an emotional component that goes along with this type of injury?
Objection, outside the scope of this designation, Black's Foundation, culture speculation.
Assistant.
In your medical report under social history, you state post-traumatic stress, anxiety, depression, headaches. Is there any reason why you wrote that?
Well, that's information that the patient gave us. It's not a diagnosis I made, it's the information that the patient gave us.
History.
And future prognosis, it says I would anticipate a 50% improvement in the scar. Was that, did the treatment you provide produce a 50% or more improvement?
I believe it did.
Was your patient happy with the medical treatment that she received?
Objection, culture speculation, investigation.
Thank you for the
You can answer.
Oh, I can answer. Well, she expressed satisfaction with her procedure to me. I've been very upfront with her that her likely outcome was that the scar would be better, but not gone.
I'm not scared to stop directly.
I just want to ask you a few more questions about the medical field. Your medical evaluation charge of $1,500 on November 4th of 2022. You reviewed that bill, correct?
Yes,
You believe that the medical treatments on November 4th of 2022 in your office were reasonable and medically necessary?
yes,
You believe that the medical treatments in your office on November 4th of 2022 were related to this incident of February 24th of 2018?
Objection, calls for speculation, Black's Foundation, outside the scope of this designation.
Now, aside from your $1,500 charge and your $2,500 charge times 2 for a total of $5,000, there was also a surgery center charge from Neo Surgery Center, is that correct?
Yes,
And you reviewed those bills from Neo Surgery Center?
yes,
Okay. And you told us a little bit about your background. Are the charges of $5,500 for each time you treated Imani Ellis in the surgery center, are those reasonable
yes,
and medically necessary?
yes,
Is that to a degree of medical certainty?
yes,
And are the treatments at Neo Surgery Center related to this incident of 2/24/18?
yes.
Objection. Again, outside the scope of this investigation.
Okay. And just so there's clarity on the other 3 bills, the $1,500 one and the $5,000 for 2 procedures, you testified that those were reasonable and medically necessary, correct?
Yes,
Is that to a degree of medical certainty?
yes,
Do you believe Miss Imani Ellis could benefit from any future type of plastic surgery?
Objection, calls for speculation. Argument is as well.
Assistant.
Do you have an opinion as to whether Miss Imani Ellis needs any future medical care in your office?
Objection, Lance Foundation.
Once you establish foundation.
In reviewing all the records and bills from the past that you've seen, and diagnosing the patient and seeing the patient, do you have any opinion as to whether Miss Imani Ellis needs future medical care?
Objection, Lance Foundation, calls for speculation.
That's outside of the scope. He doesn't know.
Do you plan to provide Miss Imani Ellis any future medical treatment?
Objection, speculation, Lance Foundation.
Open. You can answer.
He's like my answer.
not currently, but I'd be happy to do it if she asked me to.
What would you be happy to do if she asked?
Probably more medical micro.
Speculation.
I'll sustain the objection and please describe it what the response was.
Can you tell us a little bit about what future medical care you would want to provide to this patient?
Objection, Lance Foundation.
Counsel, the established foundation that there's any basis for it, even to form an opinion that she
You
needs.
don't
any
even
future
know
care.
why she would need care.
Is there any basis for you to form an opinion that you need future medical care?
Objection, Lance Foundation, calls for speculation.
Overall.
Yes,
You just, look at the judge smirking.
she still has scarring.
And what could she get, what could she benefit from?
She could,
Objection, calls for speculation, Lance Foundation.
Open.
she could benefit from some more medical microneedling.
How many more treatments?
Objection, calls for speculation, Lance Foundation.
You haven't even,
If she received one more procedure, what would the cost be for the entire process, which would include your charges and the surgery center charges?
Objection, Lance Foundation.
Open.
Well, it'd be approximately $6,500 for the professional fee and then $9,500 for the surgery center fee.
I'm going to medical school. Mm-mm.
So does that mean that the surgery center cost has also gone up recently?
Yes,
So is that approximately 15,000?
approximately.
And how much better do you believe the scar would be if she received that treatment you just told us about?
Objection, Lance Foundation. Calls for speculation.
Assistant.
Do you have an opinion as to what benefit the treatment would give Miss Imani Ellis if she had one more microneedling procedure in your office?
Objection, Lance Foundation.
Open.
I would estimate she would have an additional 15 to 20% improvement.
Is there any way to get to as close as you can to 100%?
Objection, calls for speculation, Lance Foundation.
Assistant.
Do you have an opinion of how Miss Imani Ellis can make her scar better than just 15 to 20%?
Well, she will never,
Assistant. Again, establishing foundation. Witness knows the answer.
Do you have an opinion as to what type of, well, strike that. Do you have an opinion as to the percentage of improvement that Ms. Amani Ellis can have if she has more than just one procedure in your office?
Objection, lack of foundation.
Over.
I can't say. It would take another treatment to determine that. If she had no further benefit, then that would be the end of the treatment. If she had further benefit, then that would justify more treatment.
And then I want to ask you a little bit more about medical treatment on a lean basis. Can you tell us what percentage of your practice do you treat patients on a lean basis?
A very small percentage,
Is it less than 10%?
probably yes. I don't know the exact number, but probably yes.
Most of your patients pay out of pocket themselves out of their, they pay cash or credit card, correct?
Objection, maybe.
Over.
Yes, they pay, cash, or I have charity, so they pay nothing.
You have charity.
When you treat a patient on a lean basis, does that mean, I'll strike that. When a patient treats on a lean basis, isn't it true that the lien is created simply for your added protection?
Objection, legal.
Assisting.
Does Miss Imani Ellis owe you in your medical practice $17,500?
Yes,
And no matter what the outcome is of this case, she still owes you that money, correct?
Objection, legal.
Over.
that's correct.
And you've agreed to wait until this case is resolved before pursuing your medical bills?
Objection, legal.
Over.
Yes,
Is that common practice when you treat patients on a lean basis?
yes,
And medical, isn't it true that all types of different medical providers treat patients on a lean basis?
Objection, legal. Lack of foundation.
Assisting.
Have you seen other types of medical doctors treat patients on a lean basis?
yes,
And you've seen surgery centers do that?
yes,
Pain management doctors,
yes,
chiropractors,
yes.
dentists?
I've seen all types of doctors perform surgeries on a lean, yes.
Yes, that's what he said.
If you can go to exhibit number 5, please, in your book. Are you there now?
I am, yes.
You see a report from a Dr. Norman for treatment on July 23 of 25?
Yes,
Did you review this report and bill?
I did.
Is this the most recent medical visit that Imani Ellis received to your knowledge?
I'm sorry?
Is this treatment at Dr. Norman's office the most recent medical treatment that you're aware of?
Objection, Your Honor, this is an excluded
So,
It
document
has not been excluded.
and lacks foundation.
so you're asking him if he knows whether she saw another doctor after the visit?
In reviewing,
How do you know that?
in reviewing the medical records and bills, the 85 pages, I want to establish that this is the last medical visit that the plaintiff has received
How does he know that?
by reviewing the medical records.
That's assisting.
The judge is like, how does he know that? See, he's trying to use him outside of the scope of what he's there for.
Isn't it true that after July of 23 of 25, there are no further medical records that you've reviewed?
I don't know.
He does. Wrap this up, sir.
Did you take photographs of the patient when she first came in on November 4th of 22?
Well, I don't take the photographs, but my staff does.
In reviewing your medical records and bills and reports, did you confirm that Ms. Imani Ellis had photographs taken in your office when she came in on November 4th of 22?
Yes,
And each time she came back, For example, on February 20th of 23 and March 20th of 23, you also took photographs, correct?
Yes.
And because she's a grade 5 as far as the coloration of her skin, the photographs don't do much justice, meaning they don't really show much, correct?
Objection, leaving less
Isn't it true that when you saw Monty Ellis on those 3 occasions, you could see the scar a lot better than in photographs?
Objection, leaving.
Actually, if in a detailed photograph, you see it very well. So I remember during the deposition, the defense attorney showed me a very detailed picture, and you could see everything.
What?
If you can go to Exhibit 6 in your exhibit book.
Okay.
There's a total of 12 photographs, correct?
Just trying to say the scars look
Yes.
for in person.
These are the photographs that you took in your medical office?
Well, these are so low resolution copies of the photographs. Yes.
And it's hard to see the scar in these photographs, correct?
Well, you could still see it, but you don't see detail.
Is it common practice to take photographs of your patients when they come in before they do procedures?
We would
Yes.
hope so.
Why is that important?
Well, to document what their current status is, and also to document any improvement. And because memory is fallible, so if you have a photograph, I don't always operate on patients right away. Sometimes it's months later, and then I like to have an accurate photograph.
Your Honor, if I may show the doctor some of these photographs in Exhibit 6 on the Elmo.
I don't know that there's any foundation. Those are the photographs. that-
Right, did you lay the foundation, ask the input in, what are we doing? Did you stipulate it?
Will counsel stipulate to the photographs?
That's what you should ask.
Well, why don't we not propose stipulations on the jury?
Sorry.
Ask for a stipulation in front of the judge. So the Yale super doctor has chosen. Thank you for the super chat. It's exhausting.
Can you look at the blue exhibit book in front of you?
Yeah.
Defendant Exhibit 228.
Okay.
Request to publish, Your Honor.
I don't know that he's like, do you know what the document is?
If you look at this photograph, color one, is this a better photograph of Imani Ellis' scar?
Yes.
And this is a photograph that was taken in your office on November 4th of 22 by your office staff, correct?
Yes.
And you maintain your photographs in your office as part of your business records?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm requesting to show the witness Exhibit 228 on the Elmo so he can confirm details about this photograph. Your Honor.
Objection?
No, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
I'm going to use the pen, and if you can tell me where on her face you see the scar.
Counsel, there's a pointer there. If you would just want him to get down, he can use the
Sure.
pointer on the screen.
There's a pointer there behind you.
right there.
And if you could just show us where the scar is located.
So this is a terrible picture. It's sort of like, oh, there you go, that's better. No, it's not good. Okay, there's the main scar here. And this entire area here shows differences in the skin, sort of a general area that's very different from the rest of the skin. And there's a little linear mark here. And there's another one over here. So those are the three marks that I was talking about. This is the main scar down the center. And this is another mark to the side. Here's another mark on this side. So those are the scars. And this is the whole area that's affected. So it has a little bit different, the pores are of different size, and they're a little washed out and a little, they've lost some of the normal undulations of skin, which are called reed pegs. But that happens often with scar.
Okay, and if we look at this, this photograph, can you tell that in the photograph, Imani Ellis was wearing some makeup?
It appears she is, yes. She has lipstick, and it appears she's wearing something.
Thank you.
Can I make this bigger? Am I missing something?
And if on the Fitzpatrick scale, she was a 1, would the scar be much more visible than it is in this photograph? Did, in your medical opinion, did this type of injury cause Miss Ellis to suffer pain or discomfort?
Objection, Black's Foundation, non-discrimination.
Did Miss Imani Ellis advise you in your examination of the patient that she suffered pain from this injury?
Objection, hearsay.
Yes.
And if you could just tell us again a little bit about the hypersensitivity, is that associated with any pain?
Yes, it's a dysesthesia, meaning an abnormal sensation that's unpleasant. The dysesthesia.
The procedure that you did it take the hypersensitivity away to your knowledge?
It reduced it. It did not take it away.
Do you know approximately by what percentage?
Objection, Black's Foundation. Hearsay.
When you say reduced it, is that's your expert opinion, correct?
Objection, leading, Black's Foundation, calls for speculation and hearsay.
I went through the whole rules of evidence book.
And then I just want to ask you a little bit more about whether the type of injury from fingernails would cause a break in the skin.
Should have asked that at
cause
first.
there to be blood. Do you have an opinion about that?
Objection, Black's Foundation, calls for speculation.
Would you have expected Imani Ellis, in the type of injury that you see here, to have suffered any blood loss?
Objection, calls for speculation, Black's Foundation.
And patients in Fitzpatrick 5, do they have more of a tendency to, do their scars become keloids?
Objection, Black's Foundation.
What's your foundation?
Do you have experience with keloids?
Yes.
What is a keloid?
The keloid is an overgrowth of scar tissue from the original scar.
Do patients in Fitzpatrick 5 have more tendency to have their scars turn into keloids?
Yes,
And why is that?
we don't know.
Do you believe that Imani Ellis's scar was a keloid when you examined her on November 4th? Objection, last Sunday.
Over.
No.
Are there any future appointments for Miss Imani Ellis to see you in the future?
I don't believe so.
Thank you. No further questions at this time.
Oh,
All right,
no.
folks, why don't we take our morning break? Why don't we take a 15-minute break? We'll be back at 10:45. In the meantime, please do not discuss the case with anyone, including other jurors. Don't form any opinions or do any research. We'll see you at 10:45.
So much to say. So much to say. So, first of all, this was not a very good direct examination of an expert. He didn't prepare a lot of the questions were leading. This is your witness. You should be having open-ended questions. There are specific questions that you ask experts, and I think what she was trying to do was almost use this expert outside of the expert's expertise, which is plastic surgery, is what you have them on there for. But you're trying to somehow get in how it affected her and how she was injured and all of that. That is outside of the scope of what he's supposed to do as an expert. There was no leading up. The questions were all over the place, and he seemed more interested in how much was paid and how much money and how much they can get from it. That should have been so far away from, towards the end. You need to first establish she came in, and what did she come in for? And when she was giving you the historical, because you come in and you give a history in the history section, what did she say, if you recall, why she came in? She alleged da 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 da. And when you examined her, is this the type of injury for so and so in your expertise? Is this the type of, and then it didn't really get into, okay, he did eventually say it's from scratches, but they're going to go in on the other side. When Cardi's attorneys come up, they're going to question as to whether, first of all, you saw 2, 3 year, 18, 19, 21, 2, 2022 or 24 to 5 years. Go over there with that. You saw her 4 to 5 years after this incident. Do you know that when the scratch occurred? Could have been a scratch from an animal. Could have been, she also was in a car accident. Could it be that she scratched herself during a car accident? So honestly, after knowing all of these events that occurred, we really don't know when she was scratched. We don't know how she was scratched. We don't know who she was scratched. Did it look like it was a fresh injury? It's nothing to us to be able to debunk what they're about to do to him on cross-examination, is what I'm saying. So on direct, all of those anticipated questions, such as the timing, he was trying to say, basically, she went to another plastic surgeon, and allegedly that plastic surgeon said, we're going to wait a year and see what happens. So they were trying to get him to say, this is common practice that you wait a year or two in order to figure out whether you need plastic surgery. And this is what she did. That's what they were trying to establish. However, it didn't work out. When you do your questions and you start preparing to do your direct examination, you need to also prepare for the objections that may come in. How are you going to get this evidence in that seems like hearsay? Now, when you do go into a doctor's office, there is an exception for information received for the sake of treatment. That is your exception to the hearsay. So whatever information she relayed so she could be properly treated should have been allowed to be thoroughly explained. However, all of those objections were frazzling him where he was objecting after almost every question. A lot of them were sustained. He made it look like he just got out of school or something with how they were objecting. He had a lot that was overruled as well. But to have a judge say, counsel, why don't you ask about A, B, C, D, and E, and then move on to like almost teaching you how to direct your expert is insanity to me. And then you don't have to necessarily have to do live doctor witnesses. You can also do the Bene essay, which is on video. So you'll see a lot of video deposition, or they're depositions, but they're actually the trial. Like you can use them at trials, not deposition only. And you can have them on there. And usually those are only about an hour long with both sides. I just think he wasn't clear and concise enough. I think he made this, it made you think that the client's injuries aren't much, because what he said, and this was also a very embarrassing moment, is to say our pictures don't really depict the scars. You see more in person. Is that right? And for him to say, no, pictures actually do depict, where you see the scars. When we did the deposition, the pictures that were provided to me by the defense, they actually show pretty well. If it's high resolution, you can see them as like you're asking questions you don't even know the answer to. Did you not talk to your expert before you got on the stand to let them know what you're trying to elicit, what you're trying to get out? You spent more time telling us about him feeding the homeless and being a super doctor. And if it's anything like a super lawyer, I'm just saying, I've been designated as rising star through super lawyers and all of that stuff. Child, some of that stuff is so crony based. Like what the firm is, who people like, who they don't like. People, some random people nominate you. You just get this email that you've been nominated and all of that or whatnot. If it's anything like that, I'm very proud of that. Like whatever, because it's from your peers and it's very repetitive. Usually the same people get it over and over again every year. If it's anything like super lawyers, I'm just saying, I don't know about doctor because I'm not one, but I'm thinking about it after charging $17,000 for a scratch. But he spent more time on that, and it's clear he was an expert. Like it is what it is. He's an expert in the field, and you just keep him within his field and you get what you're supposed to elicit. I don't understand almost why he was called, unless you just don't have too many medical doctors or anybody that's going to talk about this scarring. I don't know. But let me see what y'all got to say over here. Anton says super lawyers is based on getting enough lawyers to nominate you. Usually means something yes, it's usually bigger law firms. It was a big thing, I think, when I got it, because I've been solo for a minute. But usually it's your peers. You get an email. Hey, it's that time again. Nominate your favorite lawyer and all of that. And if you get all your friends, some of them will say, if it's anything like that, then it's not like, oh, we just think you the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? Not being funny. It's really about popularity of your peers. But hey. Anyways, Shantae said that skin didn't look good up close, period. I don't understand how she had makeup on her face and you're going to take pictures of a scar. So did she have cover up on her face? Is that what they're alleging? She had on foundation? Peachy Bama said, this is hyper ridiculous. Pick 103 said, I want to see the pictures beforehand. And if that's it, she could have scratched herself yesterday. Loopholes everywhere. What kind of BS is this? We don't, those pictures were taken in 2022, 2023, and it looks like it was, I would surmise it was before the surgery. I don't think it was after the surgery, because of course you should take it before, because you want to look to see what your progress is after the fact. I don't know. And like someone said, I can go to a plastic surgeon and say, there's a lot of little, areas that I want to get fixed, and they just gonna do it. But was it a necessity? Was it something that was a necessity? Andrew said, basically, Cardi's lawyers are about to devour this doctor. Yep, I'm about to take notes, because they about to give him a run for his money. Resilient Red says, some of y'all need to be getting paid for the comedy. The talent is real. I'm getting out of these comments. I'm just unproductive now. Yes, go. If you're at work, don't let this distract you, okay? Sunflowers and me said, child, Vaseline and retin would have smoothed that skin out. I don't know, 504. I don't know why she put on makeup. Peachy Bama said, no, a picture would have been the first thing I took after being assaulted. Well, she said she didn't plan on suing. That's why. 504 is always getting into something. How deep was the scratch? I don't even think they got into that. I mean, I did take a little break because I was trying to help my daughter with her laptop, but I don't think they got into, like, they talked about how long it was in centimeter, but how deep was it that it necessitated any type of surgery? So they're saying it was scars next to it. It was a scar. No, it's not really flawless. Thank you so much for thinking so. I have some very, very good cover up. Okay, it's not flawless. Gonna fake the funk over here. I got my little blemishes. Marcy said Cardi has a history of attacking people. I understand that, but that doesn't mean that she did it this time. And I don't think there is a argument about whether there was an altercation. It was who started the altercation, who swung on who first, whether it was self-defense. I think those are the issues that are in this case. Era said, if a celebrity scratched me, I'm taking pics and sending it to all my friends. I don't know. They mentioned keloid, but I don't know. I didn't see it. You said you have a large aloe vera plant. I'm about to repot. I'll send her a piece. Can you send me a piece, child? I got bad eczema, as you see on my hands. You know what I'm saying? I need that. I need some aloe vera. That's what I used to use when I was a kid. Get it straight out the plant. I need to get back to the basics, because these doctors will have you doped up. I still think they should call in a professional nail tech to speak on what will happen to the nails if you hit someone that hard with 3-inch nails. Well, shoot, scratch. Well, I guess if you.
I think the local rules are pretty specific regarding offering stipulations in front of the jury, which you're not supposed to do, so please don't do that again. Secondly, local rules are also pretty specific on brief legal grounds for objections. I don't want back and forth on arguing objections. If there's going to be a request for a sidebar, we can address it that way. I don't generally grant sidebars, but I don't want arguments regarding objections in front of the jury.
Sorry, Your Honor, it was an error on my part. I didn't
That's right.
know that.
But you do want the grounds?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Brief legal grounds.
Like, here's it. Yeah,
Sure.
so-
Your Honor, may I ask a quick question about a witness?
Sure.
So my client's mother is here,
Yeah.
and she's her only day off.
Okay.
I want to swap her for the grandmother, or add her in as a witness.
Is she on the witness list?
Yes.
Any issue with that?
It'd be nice to have 24 hours notice. We haven't been getting that, but
I might
we can accommodate.
I don't have an issue with that.
I don't know. we don't either, Your Honor.
Okay.
But it would be nice.
You got 20 or 30 minutes across here?
I would say 30.
Okay.
And it's going to be Mr. Lamb.
Okay. All right.
Guess they had a sidebar first. So it's supposed to be 30 minutes across, and then I guess the mother or grandmother is going to go out of order. And that's why I said when they were saying that Cardi's supposed to testify, I think they're just putting it on there. But Cardi, she's not gonna, I don't think she's gonna testify. I don't think she's going to, let me go back. She's not, she will probably testify in her own case in chief, but she's not going to testify today. Like, this is the plaintiff's case in chief. She would do it on hers as the defense. And no, I don't think it's gonna wrap up today because well, I don't know. Defense is gonna put on their case. Cardi's supposed to testify. I don't see it lasting as long as people were trying to say it was probably going to last. But who knows? I don't know who else he got up his sleeve. We shall see. This is the plaintiff's case. They're putting on their case right now. And Shanti said, I don't think she should have to testify in this weak case. Well, we need somebody to go against what she said, to say this isn't a criminal case. You know what I'm saying? So it's a bit different on the burden of proof and the standard and what you have to prove. So from the civil aspect, they're going to have to, are they going to believe Cardi's story? Right now, you had her attorneys telling the story. What we say is not evidence. So who is going to put on the evidence that the lady hit her first or that she was protecting herself and she was pregnant? Who's going to put that? Who else can put that on but Cardi? Nobody else was out there. You said people want to see if Cardi is pregnant. She's supposed to be pregnant again? Is that what's going on? I don't keep up. I'm an old person. You think she'll win without her testifying? Well, they'll probably say that they haven't. I mean, they'll try to get the judge to render a no cause after they put on their entire case in chief. But because it's probably, I don't know. We have to see what their evidence is. They're not finished putting it on, so I don't want to speculate. They're talking about
the jury and alternate, and it's time for the cross-examination of Dr. Mulligan. And sir, you're reminded you're still under oath?
Yes.
All right.
Did plaintiff come to you for evaluation or treatment in 2018?
Yeah.
The first time you saw plaintiff was not until 4 years later in November 2022.
Your voice is very soft. Very good. Sorry.
No problem. The first time that you saw the plaintiff was not until 4 years later in November 2022. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the photo that we looked at, Trial Exhibit 228, that was taken in your office before any treatment. Is that correct?
Yes.
It was taken the first time that you saw the cells.
Correct.
Could you please open the white binder to Exhibit 4?
told you all how
Looking
to
at the first
go.
page.
Yes,
This is, thank you. This is your medical evaluation document, is that correct?
that's correct.
Everything on the first page of this document was reported to you or your staff by Ms. Ellis, is that correct?
Yes,
Exactly.
So for example, you're not diagnosing Ms. Ellis with headaches or depression.
correct.
Okay, and also according to this medical evaluation document, plaintiff told you or your staff that the scar was caused by another individual who placed their long fingernails with sharp objects in her face. Is that correct?
Yes,
Did you ask Ms. Ellis about other possible causes of the scar?
Mm.
no,
At the time of your evaluation, were you aware that Ms. Ellis had been in a car accident and hit her head in 2021?
I'm not sure if I knew then. I don't think I knew then.
At the time of your evaluation, did you know what Ms. Ellis was doing for a living after she was terminated from her job as a security guard?
No,
Do you recall answering my questions in your deposition in this case?
yes,
You were under an oath to tell the truth in that deposition, is that correct?
correct.
Do you recall testifying at your deposition that, based on your examination, the most plausible explanation for plaintiff's scar is that a right-handed person struck downward on plaintiff's left cheek with both the index finger and the middle finger?
Objection, Ms. Benson, testimony is approved.
Yes, roughly. I still believe that to be true.
Is she left-handed or something?
Sorry. Sorry, guys.
In your previous answer, you testified that that was roughly what your testimony was in your deposition. But that was your exact testimony, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't have the transcript here. I can't remember exactly what I said.
Well, if I gave you the transcript, would it refresh your recollection? Please read lines
Could we please look
2
at the deposition
through 55.
transcript from page 76, line 9 to page 77, line 3?
Okay.
Do I have that anywhere? You know?
It'll appear on the.
Ah.
Yeah, I don't have the transcript.
Yeah, I introduced
This one I don't have. It was, we tried to get it from their core reporter, but they didn't get it to us.
I haven't seen objections in the deposition, so go ahead.
Thank you.
In this action, are you offering an opinion as to whether or not the scar that you diagnosed was caused by the defendant in this action?
Well, I can't say it was caused by any one person. If you ask me the most logical explanation, it looks like fingernails to me, striking in a downward direction. That's the most plausible example for the most plausible explanation for the position of the start of the scars, for the higher position of the right scar, it would be by a right-handed person to the patient's left-sided side of their face, which is the right side that we're observing. Starting at the top, they both start at the right level for one being an index finger, one being a middle finger. The middle finger one is a little deeper and wider, as it would be on a middle finger. And then the index finger continues on down further than the middle finger scratch. So that would be the most plausible explanation for me, given the appearance of the scars and the finding of the scars. That's my opinion.
The only treatment that you provided to Miss Ellis was 2 sessions of microneedling, is that correct?
Yes.
And that was in 2023?
I'd have to check about the dates, but I believe so.
Microneedling involves the use of a device that looks a little bit like an oversized pen, is that correct?
Well, pens don't look that way. It has a head on it that reciprocates. It has a motor in it. So it's not really like a pen.
Something that you hold cylindrically shaped.
Yeah, you hold it in your hand, yeah.
And during each of those microneedling sessions, you move that device 5 times across the 2 centimeter area that you're describing as Ms. Ellis' scar, is that correct?
Well, I also did areas to the periphery of that as well. So there was as I explained to you in the deposition, there was, and showed on the photograph, there's a larger area of changes of the skin, which I would characterize as scarring. So I did those areas as well. So it wasn't just on the main scar, it was also on the area to the periphery of that scar.
It was not, the microneedling procedure was not done on the plaintiff's entire face, is that correct?
No.
We had a double negative there.
Triple.
You said it. Triple negative.
Thank you, Your Honor. Let's see if we're-
Did you do it over
Yeah,
there?
thank you. Did you use the microneedling device on the plaintiff's entire face?
No.
And the actual process of moving the microneedling device across the plaintiff's scar took you no more than 2 or 3 minutes, is that correct?
Yeah, it's probably a little more, but roughly that.
Mm-hmm.
Neo Surgery Center is your business, is that correct?
That's correct.
You're the sole owner?
The sole owner, yes.
And looking back, this is White Binder Exhibit 1. Turn to page 1.
I need him to drink some coffee or something. Get a little pep in this cross. Our solar system.
Which binder, blue or white?
White.
Oh, okay. And what are we looking at? I'm sorry.
This is page 1.
I'm sorry?
Page 1, Exhibit 1-001. Do you see that?
Oh, yes, I see that.
Did you create this document?
No.
Is it correct that the total amount of charges in this case between you and your Neo Surgery Center is $17,500?
Yes.
And I believe you testified earlier that $1,500 of that amount was for your initial evaluation. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That leaves a combined total of $16,000 for the 2 microneedling sessions. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that's $8,000 per microneedling session.
Well, it was a surgery done in a surgery center with surgery staff. So it wasn't really a microneedling session. It was a surgery.
I'll move to strike as non-responsive.
Please disregard the past response.
Your fee was $8,000. Scratch that. The combined total was $8,000 per microneedling session. Is that correct?
Do you mean just for the microneedling or for the preparation of the patient and the postoperative care of the patient? I'm not sure. I just don't understand your question.
Are you required to be a board certified plastic surgeon for microneedling?
What kind of microneedling?
Do you recall testifying at your deposition that a nurse practitioner or physician's assistant can perform medical microneedling, the type of procedure that you performed in this instance?
Under certain circumstances and under the supervision of a physician, they would be allowed to perform that. But however, they would not be allowed to perform a surgery independently. So I don't want to conflate the two.
You also testified at your deposition that there's no particular formula that you used to calculate this $16,000 fee. Is that correct?
Well, it's based on my experience as a medical director for 25 years of what the usual and customary fees are for these procedures. So it's not just randomly chosen.
And it's your testimony that the fee you charge is usual and customary in this community? Is that correct?
Yes.
That should have came out in
You
direct.
also testified earlier that the plaintiff was charged for your services on a lien basis. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And by lien basis, do you agree that means that if the plaintiff wins this case and is awarded money, you have a right to collect your fees from the award?
Objection misstates the testimony of the witness.
Well, I don't believe that's what happens. I believe the patient owes the money for the services rendered, regardless of the outcome of the case. So it's not just if the patient wins, it's regardless of the outcome of the case.
Has Ms. Ellis paid you for your services today?
No.
Objection, that's an answer.
That's an answer. No, it wasn't. That's what you asked in your case.
If Ms. Ellis had come to your office as a patient who didn't have a pending lawsuit and had the exact same procedure done
How much would
and
you
paid for it then, would you have charged less money than you charged in this case?
Well, there were many aspects of her presentation that would not be found in a typical cash-paying patient. For example,
no?
the hypersensitivity of her injury and the nature of her scarring, those wouldn't be typically found in a cash-paying patient.
Right.
So how can I equate the fees between someone who has injuries versus someone who comes in for cosmetic purposes?
So you're not going to answer the question? Did he answer that or did I
You
miss?
can't scratch that.
Make him answer the question.
Are you saying that there's no possible hypothetical in which the plaintiff could have come in and presented the same injury and not have been involved in a lawsuit and just paid you cash for your services?
Do you mean pay cash or pay cash 3 years later?
Paid cash.
On the spot?
Yeah.
Yes, they would probably have a discount of approximately 20%.
So in other words, you charge 20% more because this was on a lien basis.
Yes.
They do, they
No
try.
further questions? Oh, sorry.
You need to talk, yeah, you gotta talk to that tape. I wish the other guy would have did this cross. This wasn't, this wasn't as exciting as it could have been. Gotta confer with
No further
your
questions.
colleagues.
All right, redirect.
Yes, sir, thank you. All right, Dr. Mulligan, you testified about the injury being caused by a right-handed person or left-handed person.
Objection, mischaracterizes the testimony.
Sustained.
Does it, well, strike. Could this injury have been caused by a left-handed person?
Objection, lacks
I
foundation.
withdraw the question. In this case, the defendant is a left-handed person. Does that mean that she cannot have caused this injury?
Objection, lacks foundation, calls for speculation.
Sustained.
You don't even know, there's no information.
Counsel asked you-
Left-handed.
Whether this injury was caused by a right-handed person. You remember the question he asked you?
Yes.
I think he was asking what his testimony was.
Did counsel ask you about your testimony in the deposition that you gave on March 27th of 25?
Yes.
And during that testimony, counsel asked you and showed you a small segment of your deposition where you said that this injury was caused by a right-handed person. Do you remember saying that in your deposition?
I said most likely.
The fact that the person is, well, strike that. For example, I'm left-handed. If I take my right hand and I scratch somebody, is that possible?
Objection, lacks foundation, outside the scope.
Sustained.
When you said right-handed person, did you mean that the injury, in your opinion, as an expert, was caused by the right hand?
Objection,
Over.
No.
What did you mean?
Well, if it's on the left side of the face, the most likely explanation is that it was done by the right hand of the perpetrator, for want of a better word.
And
Just based on the positioning of one person, assuming one person was in front of the other.
and if you look at the perpetrator there,
objection, Your Honor.
or, I'm sorry, I withdraw that. If you look at the defendant,
Who called
Cardi
her
B
a
sitting there. She
perpetrator?
has two hands, right?
In front of
Objection,
you?
Your Honor.
Take a look, doesn't she?
Objection, Your Honor.
Does the defendant have two hands?
You need to wait for the court to rule on that, the objection. The objection is over.
You can look. Please don't.
Yes, she has two hands.
Cardi B, I will represent to you as left-handed. In your testimony at the deposition, if you were to take that the way that they want you to take that, it would be impossible for a Cardi B to have caused this injury. However,
They
there's no
didn't
question.
say
The
that.
question is this: isn't it true that Cardi B, who is left-handed, could have used her right hand to scratch Imani Ellis on the day of the incident?
Objection, lacks foundation, outside the scope.
Beyond the scope, no.
What's that, I'm sorry?
Is that objection sustained?
When you testified that it happened by a right-handed person, did you mean that the person
He didn't
actually
testify.
writes with their right
Counsel,
hand?
he said it was most likely caused by. That was the
No,
most
that-
likely explanation. You say who caused it or how.
When you said most likely caused, did you mean it was caused by someone using their right hand, or the fact that they write with their right hand?
Objection,
That's
compound.
my question.
My apologies. Objection, compound, lacks foundation, outside the scope.
Over.
That's a decent question.
It doesn't matter. I mean, in my opinion, it doesn't matter. It's just the left side of the face was scratched.
With the
So,
right hand.
Typically, if people are facing each other, it would be the right hand. It's hard to reach across with the left hand unless the person was standing to the side, which may or may not have happened. I don't know.
And in this case, the defendant could have used both of her hands to scratch him on the Ellis if she wanted to. Isn't that true?
Objection.
Assistant, he's not a causation expert, I don't think, right?
Right, no,
No.
it's not.
Okay, so let's stop talking about causation.
And he's bringing too much attention to this, making it seem like it's important. Too much attention to this. He could have just addressed it.
When counsel asked you about microneedling, the fact that it takes 3 minutes, or 5 minutes, or 1 minute, that is the actual time that you're working on the patient's face when you're doing that procedure, correct?
Objection. That's good.
Well, not really.
Oh,
Yes, not really at all, because you can't just walk up to somebody and stick a needle in their face. You have to prep them. You have to make sure you're working on the right side of the face. You have to make sure your equipment is there. You have to make sure that the person is calm, that they're numb, that they've been numbed by topical agent, then that they've been numbed by a needle with lidocaine in it, and the patient is comfortable. They're adequately protected against lumps and bumps on the exam room chair. So you can't just walk up to somebody and cut their face. You have to do all this preparation. That's part of the surgery. And as part of the surgery, after the surgery, to make sure they don't have an allergic reaction or they don't have, welts resulting or a burn injury that is incurred. All those are part of the surgery. It's not just walking up and cutting someone in the face. Yes, the actual pressing of the button might take 3 minutes. But without the proper preparation or the proper follow-up, it's not a surgery.
And in this case, when you saw the patient on the 2 times on February 20th, 23 and March 20th of 23, you performed surgery on this patient, correct?
Yes,
This was not a outpatient medical.
Objection. Sorry.
Was this an outpatient? Oh, sorry, I withdraw that. This was an outpatient surgery, correct?
Objection. Outside the scope.
oh,
so a surgery means that you're in an operating room with a certain level of accreditation, and you have a scrum technician, and you have a registered nurse, and you have a doctor. So those are necessary for the procedure to be performed as it is. And that's very different from doing a cosmetic microneedling where the depth is 1/2 of a millimeter, not 2 millimeters. So 1/2 of a millimeter doesn't break the skin. It doesn't draw blood. But when it's 2 millimeters, that's as deep as the microneedling goes. That goes through the dermis and causes blood. So that's very different than a cosmetic microneedling. It's totally different. And it's done in a different setting. So you can't confuse the two. They may be called microneedling, but they're very different. One is a surgery, one is an outpatient procedure done for cosmetic purposes.
Thank you, Campfire, for the super
And,
chat. I appreciate
For
it.
the 2, if you can look at your exhibit book number 4 in the white binder,
Yes.
4-005 or 4-006, that's a 2-page document which says operative note.
They're talking about like the microneedling, like what I've gotten on my eyebrows.
Yes.
And if we go to the one before it,
What are they talking about?
when you wrote the operative note, is that the same type of operative note you would write for other types of surgeries such as breast augmentation or nose surgeries?
Objection. Irrelevant. Outside the scope.
assistant.
And back to the 3-minute question that you were asked earlier. From the 3 minutes, if we were to subtract the 3 minutes out of the whole procedure from the start to finish, how much time elapsed when Imani Ellis came to your office and left? If you understand the question.
Estimated at 2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3 hours?
Yes.
And you
were required to use your operating room during those 2 to 3 hours?
Yes, the operating room or the recovery area.
And you used local anesthesia?
Use topical anesthesia first and then local anesthesia.
Okay, and the reason you charge 20% more for patients that are treated on a lean basis, is that because of the fact that you're required to wait for payment?
Objection, lady.
Overall.
Yes, 3 years. You have to wait 3 years.
Okay, and in this case, not only have you had to wait for 3 years, you also have to suffer the consequences of the fact that the bill was billed $4,000 less, according to your earlier testimony, times 2, correct?
Objection. We don't need lights on patients.
Earlier, you testified that your bills of $2,500 should have been billed at $6,500, is that correct?
That's correct. That's my fault. That's mine.
And
That's my
if the procedure is going to be done again, or at this time, if the same procedure was done, it wouldn't be $6,500, it would be $9,500?
Objection outside the scope.
And at this point, Ms. Amani, Ellis owes you $17,500 for the 2 surgeries and the office visit that she had with you and all of the paperwork and reports that you've created related to this case.
I believe so, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much. Thank you, Empire. Thank you for your hard work. You were the one to bring
All right, any
this
questions
to
for
my
the jury?
attention,
You want to write those out?
and that's how I'll catch up. Have a great day. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. He's like, shoot, it's been about 2-3 hours. I got my $6,000 testifying. So what did you say about the micro needling? It's supposed to be you do it in the dermatology office, and it's like let me see if I can find that comment. They're spending way too much time on why he charged what he charged and the amount and all of that, as opposed to really trying to talk about this scar. Okay, Brittany said microneedling is for scar hyperpigmentation, texture, etc. Thank you so much for that explanation. I appreciate it. Resilient Red said the picture shown was years after the alleged event. Why hadn't her skin risen if it was keloid scar? I have keloid skin, and that's what happens. The guy that was doing the objections, I think he's the lead counsel. He's the one that did the opening statements, and he cross-examined Miss Ellis. I thought he would cross-examine this doctor. I would have expected it, but apparently they just felt like maybe they didn't need to pull out the big guns, but he was the one doing all the objecting. A lot of times the judge makes the person that actually does the cross-examination do the objections. That's why it kind of threw me off, but apparently this judge is different. Hydra 8 number 7 said microneedling causes little abrasion to the skin to cause it to heal itself and build collagen. So in the case of a scar, it will break down the scar tissue and reveal itself. Okay. You guys getting deep on me here. Internet Business said Cardi doesn't get to put her hands on the people, because I'm sure Internet Business was there and knows that that's exactly what happened. Because you were there, I know. You're going to be called as a witness, I'm sure, soon, as being an eyewitness to this incident. Clearly not the doctor's first rodeo. No, if he's an expert, he's probably been qualified as an expert before. Yeah, so when you do go see doctors, they do charge for everything. And if you have, that's why you'll get some surgeons who get their own surgical facilities, because otherwise they have to pay to rent a surgical facility at a hospital. And you do charge for everything. So if you, the vial of medication you use, the
I think
needle,
these questions are fine to ask. Um,
Judge, I'm sorry, can I add?
oh, the judge has.
Sure.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Oh, so if you witnessed her put her hands on somebody on camera before, that means she does it every time somebody says that she's done it. Is that what our conclusory statement is?
All right, some of these overlap, and so I'll try and combine them. Um,
Yeah.
did you see any evidence of a scratch on the nose?
No.
These are the jury questions.
Can you tell whether the scar that you examined was caused by jewelry?
It could have been. The most likely explanation, given the trajectory, is fingernails, but it could have been jewelry.
All right, can you offer an opinion as to the approximate age on the scar on her left cheek?
See what I'm saying?
It's impossible to know because after roughly a year, the scar is mature. So it really wouldn't change very much. So you can't tell the age of the scar.
You used the term medical necessity, or I think it was asked during a question. What is your definition of medical necessity?
If the patient is likely to derive a benefit from a procedure, then you could say there is medical necessity. If they're likely to derive a benefit from it.
Generally, can a scar form without breaking the skin?
Yes, a scar can form by scrapes or by breaking the skin, either one. But it definitely can occur in superficial scratches.
So the court's going to ask its own follow-up with regard to that. So can you describe how a scar can, or what the difference is between an abrasion and actually breaking the skin?
So the skin has basically the epidermis, which is the recycling layer, and then the dermis, which is the thick layer. Most of the blood supply is in the subdermal plexus, just below the dermis. That's where the main blood supply is. So the bleeding typically happens most when that dermis is completely breached. So a laceration that went all the way through the epidermis to the dermis and down to the subdermal plexus, that would cause a lot of bleeding. But for example, when we harvest skin graft, for example, in a burn patient, we go through the dermis. So we take a thin piece of the dermis and it's a bloodless plane, meaning there's not a lot of bleeding when you go through the superficial dermis. But yet we know that people who donate have a donor area for burns. That area can scar considerably, even though the dermis is never perforated. So yes, a minimal dermal injury may not bleed, but can produce scarring.
I think you identified a scratch and then some additional scratches on the cheek. Is that correct?
Yes.
And is it your opinion that all of the scratches came from fingernails?
Well, that's the most likely scenario given the patient's history. Could it have been a dwarf with sharp toes who jumped up? Possible, not likely. But it could have been most likely fingernails. But there are many other things that would leave 3 linear marks. But just given the patient's history, that's the most likely scenario.
And I'm going to just rephrase this question. Is it fair to say that when you agree to treat on a lien, you're deferring payment until the resolution of the pending litigation?
Yes. So we defer, we defer the patient paying the bill until the case is settled.
But it's fair to say that, at least according to the terms of the lien, that the patient is responsible regardless of the outcome of the litigation.
Yes, the patient is responsible for the bill.
All right, thank you. Can you have any follow-ups based on those questions?
They definitely
Just one.
are.
My mayor.
Go ahead.
Do you have any evidence that this scar could be caused by a car accident? Any medical record, anything at all from a car accident?
Outside the scope of its designation.
Yeah, that's outside of what they said in those.
That's not-
I agree, but I'll allow the question.
I don't have any evidence, one way or the other.
Thank you.
All right.
One way or the other. That's not helpful to you.
All right. Can this witness be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
Thank goodness. Thank you, doctor.
All right. Ms. Penn, if I have another witness to call.
I'm sorry.
Another witness?
Yes.
Yeah, the jury sounds like they want to know, like, could it have been caused by something
Your
else?
Honor, plaintiff is calling Imani Ellis' mother as the next witness.
Does she have a name?
Ms. Schmidt, what's the first name? Leanne Schmidt.
All right.
Not that you have a first name. You guys, please hit the like button. Thank you. That's a nice side view of Cardi. Okay, let's see what Mother Ellis has to say about her dog. Huh?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Schmidt. I'll go ahead and raise
Oh,
your right hand.
Leanne Smith. Smith.
Do you solemnly state that the testimony you may give in the house now pending before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
Leanne Schmidt, Leanne, last name Shmidt.
Great, thank you. You may take this seat. Please watch your step.
All right. Go ahead, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Ms. Schmidt.
Good morning.
You are Imani Ellis' mother?
Yes, I am.
You gave birth to her, correct?
I did.
She's not adopted.
No, she's not.
And how many kids do you have?
I have a total of 5 kids.
She's the first?
Imani is the eldest.
Did she live with you up until a certain period of time?
She lived with me from the time she was born until she was age 19.
Did Imani Ellis, during her time with you from 0 to 19, ever have one fight in her life?
Never.
Did she ever assault and batter anybody?
Never.
Did she ever hit anybody?
Never.
Scratch anybody?
Never.
Did anyone hit Imani Ellis in those 19 years?
Never.
I just want to know a little bit more about you. What do you do for a living?
I'm a licensed phlebotomist, currently working for Keck Medicine of USC.
And what is a phlebotomist, for those that don't know what it is?
The phlebotomist is a Greek word meaning a person who extracts blood from a vein via tube to vein.
And do you work in a medical center or hospital?
I work at Keck USC School of Medicine. It's a outpatient laboratory.
You work for the university?
Yes.
As far as, are you aware of the facts of this case?
Yes, I am.
And what is your understanding of it? Why are we here today?
Objection, hearsay. Assisting.
Do you have any information about an assault and battery that occurred to Imani Ellis?
Objection, hearsay. Counselor, unless she was there.
Were you there?
I was not,
Were you there in spirit?
of course.
Okay. What is your understanding about your daughter's profession in 2018? What was her profession, your understanding?
Objection, hearsay, last. I'm not sure what this is going on, so why don't you move on?
Was
Oh,
Imani
move
Ellis a
on.
security guard from 2014 to 2018?
Yes, she was.
And how do you know that?
Objection, hearsay. Overruled.
You may answer.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Was Imani Ellis a security guard from 2014 to 2018?
Yes, she was.
And how do you know that?
I was there when she went on her interview, not physically there, but she did notify me of the interview and she notified me of her hire date.
Was her plan to continue in security and law enforcement?
Objection, hearsay. Why don't we move on to what she knows, not what she was told?
Do you know if Imani Ellis was interested in being a police officer in the future?
Sustained.
Did you notice some changes in Imani Ellis after this incident of February 24th, 2018?
Yes, I did.
What were the changes that you noticed?
I noticed changes in terms of a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, and just her general well-being has changed dramatically.
Were you advised, we'll start there. Did you notice after the incident that Imani Ellis had a scar to her face?
I did.
And where was the scar?
The scar was located on the left side of her face.
And after she left your home when she was 19, when the incident occurred, she was approximately 25 years old, correct?
She was, yes, correct.
So in those 6 years where she didn't live with you full time, how far away was she and did you see her on a regular basis?
I would see her probably maybe 2 to 3 times a week. We would visit frequently, yes.
And in those 25 years, did Miss Imani Ellis ever, to your knowledge, sustain a scar on her left or anywhere on her face?
Yes, she did sustain that scar. I visibly saw it myself.
No, I understand, but my question is, aside from the incident, I guess the question what I want to know is, do you have knowledge if Miss Imani Ellis, your daughter, sustained this scar from somewhere else?
Objection.
Something else outside of this incident?
No.
Do you have any information for that?
If there's an objection, please let me move on. The objection's over.
So your understanding is that the scar to her face was caused from this incident?
Objection, lacks foundation, calls for speculation, and sustained.
How do you know that the scar was to your daughter's face was caused by this incident?
Objection,
She
reading and statement. Overruled.
You can answer.
She did notify me and called me right after the incident, telling me that she had been scratched in the face and spit on.
How long after the incident did you go and see your daughter?
She
Or did
actually
she come to you?
She actually came to visit me, I believe, later that day.
Okay. Did she look upset? Was she crying? What happened?
She was hysterical, upset, crying, just upset throughout the whole situation.
And was your daughter a fan of Cardi B before this incident?
Absolutely.
Sustained.
Were you a fan of Cardi B before this incident?
Yes, I was.
Are you a fan of Cardi B now?
Objection, irrelevant. Sustained.
When you said that your daughter was spit on, did your daughter tell you that? Did you see that? How did you learn it?
Your daughter mischaracterizes the test for the false.
hearsay, and this is Black's Foundation.
Aside from, well, strike that. Are you aware if your daughter had any car accidents?
Objection, cultural hearsay. Hearsay and Black's
I withdraw the question.
What is,
Were you advised that your daughter had a car accident in 2021 and 2023?
Objection, hearsay and Black's Foundation.
Do you know if your daughter sustained injuries in any car accidents?
Objection, Black's Foundation.
Earlier, you testified that your daughter had contacted you after the incident. Did she call you over the telephone?
She did.
And if the incident occurred around 1:30 p.m., how long after the incident do you believe she called you?
I would say about 30 minutes after she called.
Could it have been a shorter time?
Objection, cultural speculation.
trying to feed her
Could it have been a longer?
testimony.
Objection, speculation.
How did you come up with 30 minutes?
Based on around the time that she called, it was like a little bit after, right away after the incident.
How do you
So
know?
my speculation is 30 minutes.
And when she called you, was she crying? Was she yelling? What was she doing?
She was hysterically crying, upset, just overall just could barely get it out. She was so upset over the ordeal.
And what did she tell you?
Objection, hearsay.
This is
Just
Miss
so we're clear from the,
Ellis's lawyer.
during the, your daughter is now 32.
Correct.
In these 32 years, have you seen your daughter fight physically with anybody?
We heard that.
Not one fight, not even in school.
Okay. Would you consider her a peacemaker?
Objection, Black's Foundation, cultural speculation.
You can.
Absolutely.
And why is that?
Imani is a very compassionate person. I believe that she has very good. She has very good character in terms of having a sense of sensitivity to others and how they feel.
Do you know what Imani Ellis does with her time now as far as work?
Objection, Black's Foundation, hearsay.
Do you ever speak with Imani Ellis about her current profession?
No, not really.
And if she's currently somewhere in the medical field, is that correct?
Objection, Black's Foundation, cultural speculation, and something.
Here's the nice cousin lady.
Earlier, you testified that Imani Ellis was spit on. Where did you learn that information?
Objection.
She told them. Told her. It's hearsay.
Have you ever seen Cardi B before today?
On television,
How many times?
too many to count.
More than 5?
Yes.
More than 50?
Objection, relevance.
When you saw her
Did she have
on
long nails?
television, isn't it true that her nails are always very
I
long?
knew
Objection, Black's Foundation, cultural speculation, and relevance.
this question.
Does, if you look at the defendant now, you see her fingernails?
Yes.
Would you consider those short, long, or medium fingernails?
Objection.
Short.
Black's Foundation.
Did you, when you saw Cardi B, did she ever have fingernails that size?
No, they were always very long,
How long?
2 to 3 inches long.
So what you see now is not normal, correct?
Correct.
No further questions. All right, promise.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Schmidt, just a few questions. You love your daughter, right?
Absolutely.
And you're here to help her, right?
Yes.
And you believe her.
Yes.
And you believe her even if you don't need evidence to believe her, do you?
I believe her.
Okay. Were you aware that when she was, when this happened, 2 days after the alleged incident, that your daughter wrote her boss and admitted yelling and cursing, well, yelling at Cardi?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Objection, hearsay.
Are you aware that your
That's
daughter,
where you're aware.
in an incident report to her boss 2 days after the alleged incident, admitted to her boss, to her supervisor, that she had gotten into a screaming match with Cardi and had yelled at Cardi?
Objection, misstates the document.
Are you aware that your daughter apologized to Allied for her misconduct that day?
Objection, misstates the document.
That's what the document says.
Are you aware of that, ma'am?
I was not involved in that conversation, so no, I was not aware of that.
And were you aware that in her report to her boss 2 days after the incident, she instead claimed that Cardi had scratched your daughter's nose?
Again, I was not a part of that conversation, nor email or text, so I do not know.
So say no.
All the questions I have for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, I don't have any questions.
All right, any questions from the jury? All right, can this witness be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thanks for coming down, man.
Thank you so much.
All right, does plaintiff have another witness to call?
Yes, Your Honor. Plaintiff calls Diane Schmidt. Can this witness stay here now that she's testified?
If she's not going to be recalled.
She might be recalled.
What's that?
She might be recalled, yes.
Then no.
Thank you. I will get her now.
That was quick, painless. So when it comes to family members, the credibility of it, because they're family members, oftentimes are looked upon with a little bit more skepticism, because of course her mother's going to say she's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But that was their point of pointing out, did you know that she was cussing and fussing, and she admitted that she was, even though you say your daughter is the most peaceable person next to Mother Teresa? So they just got their little 2-3, their little 1-2, and they got her up off the stand. It wasn't much to say with her, because she only knows about what she allegedly saw and what she heard. That's it. You said she was.
Please stand right next to the court reporter.
Well, this must be the grandma, I guess. That was the mother, and I think this may be the grandmother.
That's fine.
Right there.
That's fine. Thank you. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly state that the testimony you may give in the cause now pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record, please?
Diane Schmidt, DIANNESHMIDT.
Great, thank you. You may take a seat. Please watch your step.
Oh, she's so cute.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Ms. Schmidt. You're Imani Ellis' grandmother.
I am.
You live in Las Vegas.
I do.
And what did you do for a living before you retired?
I work for City National Bank.
For how many
Here
years?
in LA,
How many years?
probably 12 years, 13 years. I retired from there.
Did you, you are, I'm sorry.
Right.
On how many, what type of basis would you see Imani Ellis
Oh, I
over
see.
the last 8 years?
She tries to come see me every month, unless business takes her other way, elsewhere. She's there almost every month.
What if we go a little further? When she was born in 1992 up until the present, you saw her regularly?
I saw her every week, every week. In fact, when she came home from the hospital, she came to me. Her mother was sick. She was sick for a while, but she came to me every week, and her and her other sister.
And you were involved in her day-to-day activities, the weekly activities?
Sometimes when she asked or whatever.
Did she ever get in any fights, to your knowledge?
Never. She was always the mediator. She always tried to keep things calm. She has 5 brothers and sisters. She's trying always to keep it. She's the eldest, so.
You
I think
consider her
she's soft on that.
Oh, definitely.
What is your understanding of how she got the scar to her face?
What is what?
Do you know how Imani Ellis got the scar to her face?
Objection, Lights Foundation, leading.
Are you aware that Imani Ellis was assaulted and battered in 2018?
Council, again, focus on what you know.
Do you know if Imani Ellis was ever assaulted?
Yes, I do. She called me almost after it.
She called her mama and grandmother at the same time.
What are some of the changes, well, straight back. Did you notice a change in Imani Ellis in some point in her life?
Well, after this incident, she was depressed. She was really disappointed. I think she liked Cardi before the incident, and she was shocked that she was reacted that way, and she just was depressed. And every time she relived it, listening to her music on the radio, and it was kind of she couldn't really avoid it. So it affected her because she couldn't make it right.
And the incident you were just telling us about, when approximately did it happen? Sure, no.
Well, it was right after my birthday, but it was, I don't know what the year was, but it was a long time ago.
When is your birthday?
February 16th.
If I told you the incident happened on February 24th of 2018, would that refresh your recollection?
Yeah, that sounds pretty clear. I don't know, you said 2018?
Yes.
Yeah, that's about right.
And you noticed a change in your granddaughter after 2018,
Yeah.
right after your birthday?
Yeah.
Did you see the scar to Imani Ellis's face after February 24th of 2018?
Objection, Lights Foundation, leading.
Okay.
You can.
I can't? Yeah, I did. She was, she's a pretty girl. She wants to maintain her face, and it was like felt it damaged her face, and she was trying to make that right.
All right. Now, let's take it from birth, 1992 up until February 24th of 2018.
Okay.
In that time period, did Imani Ellis, to your knowledge, ever sustain a scar to anywhere on her face?
Not that I know of.
Did you ever see a scar during that
Never.
time frame? And after this incident on February 24th of 2018, you with your own eyes saw the scar to her face?
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Okay. And when she got plastic surgery from Dr. Mulliken, did it improve?
Objection,
Oh.
Lights Foundation.
You can answer.
Yeah, he was actually a very good surgeon. He covered it very well.
And it is still present now a little bit, correct?
Very slightly, but she's lucky.
No further questions. Thank you.
All right, Rob?
Thank you, Your Honor. Hello, Ms. Schmidt.
Hello.
My name is Peter Anderson, and I just have a few questions for you. Thank you for coming in. I take it you love your granddaughter, correct?
Yeah.
And you're here to help her, right?
Well, if I can.
Thank you. And I apologize for objecting. It's one of the things that I have to do in order to be a lawyer.
I understand.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And you don't need evidence to believe her. She's your granddaughter, right?
She either has it or she doesn't. I mean, you either see it or you don't.
Okay. You know she was employed as a security guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes, but
That's a yes.
yes.
yeah, sometimes it's hard for the court reporter if someone says "uh-huh."
Okay.
Then, you knew she was employed as a security guard, and you know that she was fired after the alleged incident with Cardi, right?
Objection, misstates the testimony.
Well, let me go back. You knew that she was employed as a security guard, right?
Yes.
And were you aware she was fired?
Objection calls for speculation.
Over.
But
You could answer the question. Were you aware that she was fired as a security guard?
it was my understanding she was told that she was going to be fired
Okay.
by Cardi.
Were you aware that at the time, 2 days after the incident, she apologized to the security guard company for her own misconduct that day of the alleged incident?
I told you she's a person that tries to make sure everything is straightened out, so she apologized for what she saw as a disturbance, I think.
Were you aware that she apologized to the security company that employed her for her own misconduct?
Objection calls for speculation.
Did she ever tell you that?
No, I didn't discuss that with her.
Did she ever tell you that she told the company that employed her that Cardi scratched her on her nose, not her cheek?
Objection, misstates the document.
Over.
She didn't tell you that, did she?
What?
She
She
didn't tell you
just
that.
she was like, her finger was all over her face. So I mean, it could land anywhere.
Okay, but you only saw a scar, you say,
On her cheek.
On her cheek. You never saw any scar on her nose, did you?
No, not on her nose. I didn't.
Okay, Granny.
Did you notice the scar on her nose?
No.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Oh.
And I think that's all the questions that I have for you. Thank you.
All right, you're right.
Grandmother did good. Let this go. Grandma did her thing for her granddaughter. No need to redirect.
Are you aware that in the incident report that council asked you about,
Let it go.
your granddaughter expressed that the defendant pointed her 3-inch acrylic fingernail into her face?
Objection. Outside the scope.
I told
Are you aware
back up.
in the incident report, which council represented that your granddaughter apologized, are you aware that she apologized for being belittled?
Objection. I'm sorry. Objection that this characterizes the document outside the scope.
Are you aware that she apologized for being called?
I'm not sure established that she knows anything about that statement.
Right.
Do you know things about the statement, like the different words that were used against your granddaughter?
Objection. Hearsay. Argumentative.
Were you aware that your granddaughter was called the N-word?
Objection.
Can I have anything further?
I'm sorry, Your Honor?
Do you have anything further?
Yes.
Didn't I tell you all he should have left it alone? I saw all of this coming. Grandma did what she could do. She didn't get
If
back
your
up.
granddaughter apologized,
Let it go, bro.
would she have been apologizing for her part of the incident?
Objection.
Assisting.
Isn't it true that in every incident, there's two parts? Objection. And people are responsible for their side
She's a
of the
fact
story.
witness. Do you have any questions about facts?
Counsel, you're making yourself look like a rookie. Free grandma.
Sorry, one moment here.
I think grandmother did well with the
That's all,
question.
Your Honor. Thank
she
you
was
very much.
given.
All right, can you recross?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, questions from the jury? You want to write that out, please?
Do I?
Here's some questions for the jury. I think that grandma, I mean, she did what she can do with what she had. I think she answered those questions better and more persuasively as far as, oh yeah, she had, I mean, if she was pointing in her face, it could have went all over her face. So it could have just, if she said it scratched her nose, then she testified. And then the attorney for Cardi did the right thing because of her being elderly and how she comes across real sweet and unassuming. He can't really come at her like that
Ma'am,
without
do you
looking.
have an approximate time as to when Miss Ellis called you? Do you know the approximate time?
I really couldn't tell you.
Did she tell you how long ago on that phone call? Did she tell you how long prior to the call that it happened? Or in other words, should you say this just happened or it happened earlier?
Well, she called me right after.
Right after?
And she was humiliated, you know, so she
Okay.
was crying.
Okay. Any follow-up questions?
Did she, during that call, tell you that she was cut on her face by Cardi B?
Objection.
Assisting.
Yes.
Did she tell you on the call that she...
Counsel, the question was about the time. It's not, we're not going to reopen
Right.
the area.
Now you're reopening.
Here, I understand. Did she call you the same day of the incident?
Objection by foundation calls for speculation.
Overruled.
Your answer?
Yes.
And that was February 24th of 2018?
Yes.
Thank you. No further.
And she remembers about her saying she got cut on the
Give
cheek.
us the last 4 digits of your phone number in 2018. The
Oh,
number that Ms. Ellis would have called.
I had a different phone then. 818.
So she doesn't even remember her phone. That's the thing. Now,
Remember the prefix?
Wow.
What was the area code?
Area 818.
now you're
Any other
saying,
numbers?
Objection, asked and answered.
I'm sorry, I really don't remember.
I probably couldn't remember mine, but thank you very much.
It took me a long time to remember the first new one.
Yeah, I know how that is. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Can this witness be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, we may have to recall.
Okay. All right, you can step down in.
Thank you.
they're saying
All
all
right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our lunch break. We're going to resume promptly at 1:30. As always, please do not discuss the case with anyone else, including other jurors. Don't form any opinions or do any research. We'll see you at 1:30.
All righty, there we have it. So we had the doctor that came on. That was the second witness for the plaintiff, Dr. Brent Moelican. That was a circus. We had Leanne Schmidt, that's the plaintiff's mother. She didn't really do too much. And then we had Diane Schmidt, who is the grandmother, and she seemed to me, she was decent. I think that they should have just left it alone. They got what they needed. Sometimes less is more. And you got to know when to stop. I wonder how many cases that this attorney has tried. I would be very curious to know that, because he's learning. This is looking real trial and error like, and this is not a trial and error case when you're going against Cardi B on television or on stream. Well, yeah, Court TV has a television station too, so on television and streaming. So yeah, you said you change it every 6 years. I got the same phone. I need to change, but I have other phones too, though. But thank you for gifting the membership, Sunshine Blazing. I appreciate it. So, what you guys want to do? Do you guys want to take a nice break? Do we want to leave the stream up, or do we want to start a new stream? I'm gonna do what you guys want me to do.
and I could come back in an hour because that's when it's gonna restart. And we'll see who comes next.
Yes.
What y'all want to do? Because I know some of you guys need to eat too.
Yes. You'll have to pick one is real.
Okay. You want to leave it up? That's from Vintage. Yeah, it would be 4:30 EST. Leave it up. All right, I'll leave it up. All right. Angie says start. You start back. Y'all split. All right. So you said start a new y'all split. I don't know. All right, I'ma just start a new stream, okay? Because this one is 3.5 hours. Do I want to start a new stream? I don't know.
I think so.
You think so? What do you think I should do? Should I start a new stream? Should I stop this live and start a new stream, or keep this one going?
Stop the stream.
Stop it.
Yes.
You just want to go outside and play. She's not a good juror on this situation because she thinks she's gonna go outside and play. Okay.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna make a part 2. All right, I'm gonna make a part 2, and I'm gonna come back and in an hour. All right, so you guys enjoy your lunch. I'm gonna already put my thumbnail up as soon as I get off. I'll see you guys at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. All right, y'all. All right.
All right.